I think we are live. Yeah, we are live. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Ameera, in case you don't know. I haven't had a show on the Lapeef Network in a long time, but here I am. I have returned. Guys, I'm so happy to be back, and I am waiting on you guys to come in. Um, Mr. Coleman, is there any way that I can get the comments shown on the StreamYard? Because I would like to monitor while I stream at the same time. I'm sorry that you guys had to hear me coughing in the beginning. I didn't know that my mic was not muted. Um, right. So it has been a long time that I haven't streamed on the channel, and there are many things that I would like to speak about. But first, I want to speak about this topic: attractiveness. So this stream, hi guys, hi Mr. Renegade, hi C7 Steel Story, hi Larry, hi Cat Student, hi Mr. C, hi MC MS Best, hi Beak. All right guys, so I am so happy to have you guys here, and I'm so happy to see the names that I haven't seen in so long. This stream is coming for a reason, right? This stream is because recently I've seen an uptick in videos of ugly people coming out and talking about their experiences living as ugly people, and their experiences with career failure because of their ugliness, relationship failures, or not even a failure, it's a failure to get a relationship because of their ugliness. Um, and many other issues. And I think that this is something that we don't really speak about that often, because yes, we do speak about attractiveness, but we never actually go in depth of the life. We never go in depth into the life of an ugly. Okay. And I left it as an ugly because there are different levels to this, right? There's the difference between an ugly man's life versus an ugly woman's life. There's a huge difference. And this is something that I really don't laugh. Dawood is laughing. Don't laugh. This is a serious topic. I am serious. Now, look, and I'm not trying to be offensive. It's not, here we go again. I'm already apologizing for my offensiveness. I'm not trying to be offensive, but I think we should put some attention to the uglies. We need to give some attention to the uglies. Um, and there are many of the uglies out there. This is part of the reason why Kevin Samuels' video, Average at Best, went so viral. Because Average at Best, I have seen so much online, so many people talking about average ever since Kevin Samuels' video Average at Best. Average, average, average. And I've seen so many women being so apologetic about their own looks. Now, I'm not saying that the women are ugly, okay, per se. What I'm saying is average looks exist, and the majority of women refuse to accept that they are average. And we're going to speak about today, is being average, does that put you at a disadvantage, an advantage, or what does that do to your psyche when you are average but you believe that you're not, or you are ugly and you know that you're ugly? What does that do to your psyche? And when I say ugly, I don't mean weight, because weight is something that you can change. These are things that I'm talking about that you were born inherently with. What makes a person ugly? There's many factors to it. Of course, we all know there's many factors. Hi, normal name changer. Of course, there's many factors to what makes a person ugly. But I would argue that one of the main things that makes a person ugly is having a feature. We're talking about physicality here. Is that a word, physicality? We're talking about physical features here. The main thing that would make a person ugly is having an abnormal feature. An abnormal feature, or a feature that is imbalance with your face, that it just messes up the balance of your face, because symmetry, ya Allah. Guys, it's Ramadan. I am fasting, and my words today are not wording. The symmetrical balance of your face is part of the reason why a person is seen as attractive, or the opposite, ugly. So What I would say is this. I believe that the imbalance of features on your face will make you either pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous, or average, ugly, or horrendous. So this is a spectrum, right? Recently, I've seen videos of women speaking about their experiences of being ugly. There is right now, if you guys go check it out on YouTube after you see this video, there's a video online right now from a black lady, and the video is called Being Confident Whilst Being Ugly, or Being Confident and Ugly, something of the sort. I watched that video in its entirety, and she was very, very honest about her features. She's a black woman, and she was speaking about her nose being larger and her forehead being more than a forehead, you could say that, receding hairline and all of that. And she was speaking about those features. And when you think about these features, I know a lot of people are going to argue with me and say, just because a person has a large nose doesn't make them ugly. A large nose can make a person's face not symmetrical. If your face, that nose doesn't fit on your face properly, or it looks weird, or it stands out, people are going to notice that the first time they look at you. They're going to notice that straight away. Let's say you have a bigger mouth than the rest of your face. Some people have bigger mouths. You know, your mouth is big. That can mess up the symmetry. It can make you look not right. Some people have big nostrils. Have you guys seen? Tell me you guys have not seen people with huge nostrils. Jay-Z, I'm talking to you. Huge nostrils. That would be the first thing that people look at. Instead of actually seeing the entirety of your face, people are zoning in, honing in on those features that stand out. Now, so this is where the whole ugly versus pretty thing comes in. I've heard it argued many times that there is a European standard of beauty that everyone is trying to achieve. And I disagree with that in many ways. And I'm gonna go all the way in on this topic, guys. So I don't want to hear anything in the comment section about racism or, oh, this is not nice or what have you. I don't care today because we're speaking about features, and features come in every race. It doesn't make it, it's not solely one race who has one feature or the other, you know. So please. Um, I have seen that, and I see so many people speaking about it. Yes, yes, chaotic. Yes, yes, I see you guys talking about chaotic. Yes, chaotic. I'm sure he's going to have his input in a moment. We already know what oh my goodness, here we are. Guys, welcome in chaotic. My favorite co-host, my favorite panelist to be with. Chaotic.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. How are you?
Pretty good. I just got here like a minute ago. I didn't know that you had went live. Um,
Well, you took too long. You said on time, be on time,
I
oh,
didn't get
East Coast time.
I didn't get the StreamYard link, but nevertheless, salute to you. Positivity is coming your way. Hope all is well with you and yours. Amir, you're doing the work of the Lord tonight. You are talking about a topic that. Oh, by the way, happy Ramadan. By the way, um,
Thank you. Thank you.
you're talking about a topic that is very important to a lot of people. And it's very important within our day and age. As I've said before, and I'll keep on saying it, I'm from a different generation, and I'm not from the participation trophy generation. I am a millennial, but I am from a generation where you had to have character, you had to go outside, you had to develop a certain, character about yourself. I think I already said that, but
True.
I think we're lacking that now. And you're going to see a lot more incels. You're going to see a lot more debauchery because people don't understand their hierarchy in nature. And a lot of it has to do with looks. And not to bombard the chat or the panel, but Amir, you have a lot of ugly dudes, particularly, that they don't understand why they are being rejected. They don't
Well,
understand why.
I
Go ahead.
wanna get into it,
Go
but
ahead.
I wanna finish the intro first, and I don't know
Oh,
if you heard what I was saying. I don't know
uh,
if you heard any of it, but
go ahead.
I was speaking about features, and what I was saying is that the thing that majority of people say makes you ugly is having asymmetrical faces,
Yes.
meaning there's something about your face that
Hmm.
just puts off the balance. Now that could be a
Yeah.
large nose, it could
Yeah.
be large nostrils, it
Yeah.
could be wrong eyebrows. If wrong
Yeah.
eyebrows, what is a wrong eyebrow? You understand? Maybe a
Yeah.
unibrow, it could be
Yeah.
teeth, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Now, okay, give me a minute, chaotic, give me a minute.
No, you're hitting it on
So
the nail. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So what I wanted to do is finish telling the chat what I was saying about the the recent videos that I've been seeing.
Hmm.
Now, anyway, the videos that I've been seeing, chaotic, have been of women and men coming out as ugly people, and they were ugly. Just to be true, they were
Yeah.
ugly. They weren't just self-deprecating. They were really ugly, and they were coming out and speaking about their lives and
Yeah.
their failures, the job failures or the job interviews that
Yeah.
never fell through just because of their looks, and
Yeah.
also their um, 1 minute chaotic. They were also speaking about their failures to get a relationship and so on. Now
Mm.
you know, looks has a huge. We all know that. There's no need to regurgitate that. That is already well known.
Hmm.
But what is not known is the full psyche of the ugliness. And like I said, with Kevin Samuel's video, average at best, a lot of women online argue, well, I'm average, but I'm pretty. Now, wait, chaotic, wait. Now, these are women that I've had chat arguments with. You guys know the chat, the comment section arguments, they are glorious, and especially with me in there. But the comment section arguments that I've had have been women coming up and saying, "I'm average, but I'm pretty." You can be average and pretty. What do you mean you can't be average and pretty? And what I think they're trying to say is that you can be average and cute, because
Yeah.
average, the meaning of average means that there's nothing special about your look. You're not
Yeah.
exotic. You're not rare. This is the definition of average. You
Yeah.
are common. Your look is common, and it's not something that people will look at you and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's unique." So, I'll give you a minute. The first thing I wanted to bring up, and I want to get your view on this, chaotic.
Absolutely.
I don't have Mr. Coleman. Can I get my? Do we have my things in the back? My banners. If JR made my banners, or if not, please put my first banner regarding the ugly woman. If there is no banner, fine. We'll start it like this. The
Okay.
first topic is the ugly woman. Okay?
Okay.
The the ugly woman, and this is so hard for women because women cannot stand being out of the pretty box.
Yeah.
Women are expected to be called pretty. And I understand that need to feel special and above average, because women, not like men, you guys don't have this as much as women do, chaotic, and you're going to give me your view on the men's side. But me as a
Absolutely.
woman, chaotic, me as a woman, our whole lives are based on our level of attractiveness, and it is such a um ingrained thing in us to always feel like I'm
Yeah.
prettier than her, I'm
Yeah.
prettier than her. And when a girl comes in that's prettier than yourself, it
Yeah.
is hard to accept it. It's like, no, well, she's wearing makeup. No, well, it's just a bad day for me. I look good normally. I just look like crap today. When in truth, you actually did all your makeup today. You actually did all the stuff, and you still are not reaching that level of being above average. What do you say about the ugly woman, her psyche, and her level of attitude that comes with being not above average? What do you say you have experience with women that are either average or on the ugly category?
What has happened, Amir, is that the average woman, the non super hot woman, the woman that lacks facial symmetry, she has not elevated her life to the point where she has grown out of the princess stage. She was told she was a princess as a 3 year old, as a 7 year old. She was told that she was a princess as a 12 year old by men, particularly in her family, more than likely her father, an uncle, a male cousin. She was told this all of her life. Now, generally, people in your family are going to say nice things to you. That's your family. Nobody's going to tell you that you're morbidly obese. Nobody's going to tell you that you look like Harriet Tubman. Nobody's going to tell you that you look like Celie from The Color Purple. So what happens is that the woman is not told these things. She's not told that she looks like Roseanne at 13. Of course not. And so what happens is that these women become adults. And a lot of times with women, women don't um they don't they don't women mature, females mature faster, but that maturity stops at about 13 or 14 for them. Whereas men mature because we have to. The world doesn't care about us. But women are always told that the world cares about them. So they get about 22, 23. Um, they don't look that good. They're short. They're morbid. They're overweight or something. And so now this woman is walking around thinking that I'm still a princess. And I've heard this from a lot of women in my life. And I'm pretty sure some men have encountered women like this. They still think that they have what is called pretty bitch privilege. So they think that you're supposed to buy them drinks, that you're supposed to court them without them doing anything in return. This is the modern woman. She believes that she is the same as a Naomi Campbell, as a Nia Long, as a Scarlett Johansson. Um, the the woman in modern days believes that she doesn't have to be domestic. She doesn't have to be skinny and thin. She doesn't have to have nice perky breast because society now is telling her that she can look like a goddamn clown with purple hair, be 245 pounds, and she's 5 foot tall,
Oh goodness.
and literally look like the clown, the McDonald's clown. So these women are shocked when they are not treated on the same scale as prettier women. I've seen this at the bars. I'll give you an example. One time I myself was at the bar and there was a female there. First of all, she was over the age of 30. She wasn't the hottest. She wasn't the cutest. She didn't have facial symmetry. She asked me if now the bar was packed. She asked me if I can have my chair, and I said absolutely not. She looked at me like I was crazy. You know why she looked at me like I was crazy? Because in certain cultures, men tend to simp, regardless of how a woman looks. But I had to remind her of her hierarchy. I had to remind her, you're not that attractive. You are not attractive enough to use pretty bitch privilege. You're not attractive enough to ask me for my seat at the bar because you don't want to stand because it's crowded in here. I told her no. Then she proceeded to ask me for a drink. I said, absolutely not. Again, only pretty bitches get drinks. You are not a pretty bitch. You're not an ugly bitch, but you're not a pretty bitch. You're not pretty enough for you to expect. I'm sorry, go ahead, Amir.
No, I
Oh,
wanted you to
yeah,
finish your sentence
yeah.
for you to
So, so,
expect
so,
special
so,
treatment.
so, so, what a lot of women have to understand is that there are men like myself, and especially back in the day, there's a standard of beauty, Amir. That standard of beauty is thin, generally tall, symmetrical face. How do we know this? What is the evidence? All you have to do is go through our life and look at who's on the covers of magazines, Vogue, who's modeling high-end clothes and fashion, who used to be on the calendars, the car calendar. I don't know if you so Amir, back in the day, they used to have calendars, right? And they used to advertise cars. All you got to do is look at who were on those car calendars before all this woke nonsense that we see. when women were really attractive in movies and films back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, all you have to see is, do the women now look like Farrah Fawcett when Farrah Fawcett was 20 or 25? Do the women right now look like Suzanne Summers when she was 24, 25? And if you can't answer yes, then no. If a black woman particularly does not look like Naomi Campbell, she is not she is not a 9 or a 10. She's not necessarily ugly, but these are the women that have pretty bitch privilege. So these are the women. I'm about to land the plane to America because I know you want to talk. These are the women that don't have to cook and clean. These are the women that you can take you can take, pay for steak dinners, Ruth Chris or some higher scale restaurant, because these are the women that increase your value, of course. But some girl who is 4'11", who's 300 pounds, and who looks like uh, um, the mother off of Good Times, she has to be domestic. She has to know how to cook and clean. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Now, what a lot of women are going to argue when they hear you say this is that this is European standard of beauty that you are looking for. Now, hold on, chaotic, because I already know what you're going to say.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But they're going to argue that this is the European standard of beauty that has been pushed on every race of woman when every race of woman cannot achieve said Farrah Fawcett look. Now, wait 1 minute.
Go ahead.
When you were speaking about the opportunities, the thing that women have that is a kind of an equalizer is makeup. Now, you have brought up the weight thing, the 4'11" and 300 something pounds. When I opened the stream, I specifically mentioned we are not going to mention weight because I want to
Mm,
speak about features that cannot be changed unless you go under the knife. Now, weight is a fluctuating thing. You can lose weight, you can gain weight, but your features, your face, the thing that you show to the world every
yes.
day, that there's no way that you can, even women who wear hijab, even women who are covered, Muslim women, you're still going to see their face for the majority of the time. But now, your face, these are the features that you were born
Okay.
with, the features that your mother and your father gave you. This is the thing that is unique specifically to you, unless you look so much like someone else, which happens. But features. Now, features, when I was speaking about features, now there's makeup, women use makeup, and this is kind of the way where a lot of uh, not every woman who wears makeup is ugly. There's a lot of gorgeous women that still wear makeup because it is a girly thing. But when I'm
Hmm.
talking about makeup, I'm talking about where you cannot leave the house without it. You don't feel comfortable taking it off in front of your man. This is makeup that is, it changes completely what you look like, how you
Yeah.
act, everything. Now, there is a difference between a woman wearing some makeup because she wants to feel fresh and awake. And, a lot of women feel fresher when they have on makeup. But this is a woman who uses contour. She's using tape to pull back her skin. That's a thing, chaotic. Using those nose molding things, that they find in China. You mold your nose and all of this.
Mm,
These are all the things that is just one step under plastic surgery. Now, when I speak about this, guys, women, the way a woman looks, it's held in a heavier it's a heavier thing for women than it is for men. But women have an out, because one thing is that I noticed that back in the time, men did not really care so much if the woman was not pretty in her face, but if she was thin and had a nice voice and she dressed well, she smelled good, it was all good, and a man would happily take her home and run and make his legacy, make his family with her, even though he knows that she's not the best looking. Now, after the Average at Best video from Kevin Samuels, I've seen an uptick of women saying, I'm average and pretty. I'm average and pretty. You can be average and pretty. No,
yeah.
you cannot. No, you cannot, because pretty, beautiful, and gorgeous used to mean something, and those
It
words
really
should
did.
still mean something. Now, average is, you weren't here when I said it, chaotic, but average specifically means that you look common. You're very common. Pretty is not common, because when you say you can be average and pretty, the thing is, average being common, when you see the common people in the world, the common people are not pretty. So how can you argue that average is pretty? That is not true. Pretty it's above average. It means that you stand out in a way. Now, all of the women that I see today, all of the women, the majority of the women that I see today, there's a video online, and I was talking about it before you got here. There's a video called How to Be Ugly and Confident. And it's a black woman. It's a black woman, and
Mm,
she's speaking about her nose because she has a very large nose. She speaks about her mouth. She speaks about her forehead because she has a very, very big forehead. And she was speaking about living in her body, knowing that she's not pretty. And she accepted it, which I believe actually did make her look better in my view, because she accepted it and she wasn't trying to say, I'm a 10 no matter what.
yeah.
And that delusion is something that only women can have. The next thing that I wanted to bring up, since I do have my banners. Oh, thank you, HR. I want to bring up my next banner, the ugly
Okay.
man. The ugly man and the
Yeah.
differences between these two. I'll give you my view first, Chaotic, and then
Okay.
I'll let you go. My view about the ugly man. The ugly man, when I think ugly man, I think men that lack testosterone. Maybe their testosterone is low. They have more of a feminine face, kind of a soft face. And when I say soft face, I mean kind of droopy faces. Men that they don't look strong. They look very weak. They're very.
Yeah.
When I say this, I'm talking about pale men that don't take care of their hair. They can't grow a beard for their life of them. These are the type of men that I'm speaking about, who don't look like the average. I mean, not the
Yeah.
average. The look that women go for the majority of the
Yeah.
time. The men in this situation, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Since I'm not a man, this is your turn. Since I'm not a man, I believe this is in my view and watching videos online of ugly men talking about their life as ugly men. They spoke about how they were denied job opportunities because they
Yeah.
look weak. They look weak and they look like frail. And there's a term called soy boy. They look simpish. They look, just pathetic. And they won't get jobs for it. This is where you have the term incel. Pardon
Yeah.
me, guys. And this is where you have the term incel, and you have men who literally go into hiding and getting in this cave, and there's no escape from it unless they change something. What do you have to say about the ugly man? And is it worse for a man to be ugly than a woman to be ugly?
Yeah. Well, Amira, first of all, it's worse for a man to be ugly and not realize that he's ugly. And I did a show about this the other day. Again, society will generally take care of a woman, but men um, who are not on the scale of, like, say, for example, you know who Bradley Cooper is, Brad Pitt, Idris Elba. If a man does not look like that, then he must cultivate other options. And men generally are judged by what they have, 9 times out of 10. So, yes, most of us aren't born with Bradley Cooper features. So what? That's not how men operate anyway. But what I've noticed is that a lot of ugly guys, which are a lot, most men are not really good looking. What most ugly guys are doing now is that they are a part of the participation trophy generation. So when they go into these jobs, or if they're being treated wrong, they don't understand is that you just can't exist being ugly. You can't come in late. Now, if you were 6'4" and you look like Idris Alba, maybe you could and nobody would say anything. Maybe you wouldn't get written up. But then you're over there
Mm-hmm.
mad and you're drinking and you're smoking weed and you're becoming paranoid because you don't really know, why is society treating me wrong. And it's not that society is treating you wrong, it's just that you are too ugly to make a mistake. You're not that good looking to just exist. So when you are an ugly dude, you have to be charismatic, you have to be funny, you have to do
Have a
every
skill.
you have to have a lot of skills to be a renaissance man, because you aren't good looking enough just to exist. And that's why a lot of men, like you said earlier, don't get these jobs. Well, you didn't get the job because you came in there and you were dull. You may have had the same criteria as 6'2" Tyrone who has a chiseled jaw structure, or 6'2" Brad, but 6'2" Brad and Tyrone can just exist. But when you're 5'4", and you look like Gary Coleman after the show, you can't come in there and be dull. You have to, hey man, you got to be funny. For example, Amir, there's a guy named Flavor Flav. Do you know who that is?
Oh my
Flavor Flav.
gosh.
He is one of the most ugliest dudes I've ever seen in my life. He looks like the Crypt Keeper. But the fact is that Flavor Flav is a Renaissance man. Flavor Flav can play about 10 or 15 different instruments. He's very theatrical. He's funny. The man can act. That's the difference between an ugly guy. If Flavor Flav went into some office somewhere and just wanted a job and he had no skills, or if he had just regular skills, they'll interview him, and then the door closes. Damn, that dude ugly. And they throw his application away because he's ugly. But see, the beauty of being somebody ugly, which most men are, is that you're able to think. I could look in that mirror and I could say, man, I'm ugly. But you know what? I'm going to be the best man possible, because at the end of the day, men are generally judged by what they've accomplished in life, whereas women generally are just judged by looks. Look, we don't care if a woman's an astronaut or not. How big are your... Oh, go ahead.
Okay, chaotic. See,
How
you're
big are
gonna have
your
to
tits?
get chaotic up out of
Yeah.
here. Can
Yeah.
we stop? Okay.
Go ahead.
See, but this is where I think men have it easier when it comes to the looks department, because, like I said, women, we don't have that option, chaotic. We don't have the option of saying, yeah, well, I'm ugly, but guess what? I'm a scientist. We don't have that. Men will be like, you can science your way out the door. Find the calculations to go out the door again. That's what you can use your algebraic knowledge to do. They don't care about that. And chaotic, another thing with looks is that with men, like I said, men all of a sudden, let's say there's an ugly man, yeah, just like Flavor Flav. Let's use your example, Flavor
Yeah.
Flav. He
Whew,
had chaotic. He had 20 or so women, if not
fighting
more,
over.
and exactly. Now,
Mhm,
why? Because he's rich. Now, all of a sudden, wait 1 second, chaotic.
mhm.
Wait, the ugliest man in the world. All of a sudden, when he has zeros behind his name, all of a sudden he becomes really attractive for some
That's what I
reason.
was
The
saying.
same,
Yeah.
but the same does not work for women.
Mm-mm.
This
No.
It doesn't work this way. And there was a story, and I believe it was a fake story. I think it came out as a hoax after, but I'll share it with you anyway because I think it was nice to have this kind of story because of the reaction of society, which we'll get to, because I do believe there is such thing as an ugly society, an ugly culture, an ugly. Uh, we'll get there. But this story came out a while ago. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It came out of China, and I believe it was a hoax, but who knows? Because obviously it's China and ancient Chinese secrets, right?
Hmm.
China. There was a man and a woman who got married. The man married this very attractive Chinese woman. She was model-esque, beautiful. And
Yeah,
in
I get it.
Asia, big eyes are seen as beautiful because all the women are like, think it, think it,
Yeah,
think, think.
yeah,
But anyway, so this is seen as beautiful. This woman had so much plastic surgery, but her husband never knew. They had children, and then when the children came out, they came out looking like how his wife naturally looked. Her
right.
actual
Of course.
genetic code, your genetic code, of course. And this is why I say men, when you marry what you see under makeup, you don't know what your kids are going to come out looking like. You marry a woman with so much
Yeah,
plastic surgery, so much makeup, you never know what she really looks like. You are going to have children that look like her genetic code, not what you see today, not all the makeup and all the extensions and all the
yeah.
additives. You are going to marry her and you're going to have babies that are her genetic code, which is different. But anyway, back to the story. This Chinese
Follow.
man marries this Chinese woman. She's, pardon?
I said I'm following you. Yes, yeah.
Chinese man marries this Chinese woman. They're happy. They start having children. They have 3 children. Child number 1 comes out ugly. The husband says, okay, maybe it's just a fluke. We'll try again. Child number 2 comes out ugly. He's like, okay, maybe third time's a charm. Child number 3 comes out even worse, comes out horrendous. And he says, wait, something is wrong. He went searching in her past and found out that she had lots and lots of plastic surgery done. So he married a lie. He took her to court to divorce her and won in the court. I forget, something like $1.3 million, and something of I don't know what else it was, but it was a huge deal. And like I said, I believe it was a hoax, but whatever. Now, the story, it went into the news and it went into the people, and the people's reaction is what is really intriguing because so many people out there were in agreement with the husband, saying he should win that money. She lied to him. She produced children that came out with her genetic code, which is clearly not a 10, and she lied, so she deserves to pay that money. There was another group of people saying this doesn't matter. Even if the children come out ugly, those are your children.
Yeah.
How could you be so mean to your children? That's half your genetic code. So why didn't your genes fix the looks and so on? And this made me think about the whole ugly and beautiful thing. So when it comes down to that, the next topic, the ugly offspring or the ugly child. What do you think about this? About having beautiful parents, two beautiful parents,
Hmm.
and then having a child that comes out ugly?
Well, Amir, I don't have any children, but to answer this question, um, I would have to really guess, but I know that a child can be a profound, or having a child can be absolutely profound to anybody who has a child. And I know that when you look at your child, you don't see physicality for some reason. I mean, I know that sometimes you could recognize an athletic child,
We've
but
all seen it chaotic. We've all
well,
seen a
I feel
child
like
that's
I feel like we've only seen it from the outside. It's just that we don't have children, but I can only guess that if I had a child, and particularly if it's a female, and if she, for example, looked like Leslie Jones in the face. You know who Leslie Jones is, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Ghostbusters,
Yes,
Ghostbusters, I
if she
believe.
looked like Leslie
Okay,
Jones in the face, then I would definitely focus a lot of it. Like if I had two daughters, and if one of them looked like a Sudanese model, which they are extremely attractive,
extremely.
I won't have to worry about um certain things with her compared to the one who looks like Leslie Jones. The one who looks like Leslie Jones, I would just say things like, "Hey, babe, maybe you should, get into this acting troupe. Maybe you should go into dancing or basketball." Or I would try to get her into as many activities as possible.
But
Um,
I have a
re-
question for you, Chaotic. I have a
go
question
ahead.
for you.
Go ahead.
Now, don't forget what we're going to say. My question is going to
No, I
stand right
won't.
after I address some of the comments. I'm awake. Are you said, huh? All children are beautiful.
No,
I
no,
respectfully disagree with that.
no, they're not.
Yeah, let's not act like, the thing is,
Yeah,
ugly people exist. So why do we say that ugly children don't exist? Because every person that
yeah,
is alive today was a child at one point. So
yeah,
no, I don't agree with that.
yeah,
Let me see. And somebody asked if we're going to put down the link. Yes, I will post a link.
yeah.
I always have a link open for later. Yes. And the question that I have for you, Chaotic, was this.
Well, I was just trying to answer the first one, but go ahead. What's the second question?
Somebody asked you a question.
No, I was trying to finish the question about if I had an ugly child.
Oh, but this goes in along with
Oh,
it.
okay.
This goes
Oh, okay.
along with
Yeah.
it because of what
Okay.
you were just saying. This question is regarding what you were saying about having a possible daughter with Leslie Jones, or I forget who the other lady was. But would if you did have that child and she did come out unfortunate in the attractiveness
Yeah.
department, would you then lie to her and tell her, because you want her self-esteem to be high, that she is gorgeous, beautiful, or above average or something like that? Would you lie to her as her father because you do not want her to feel um, low self-esteem or depression, or what would you do?
Yes, Amir. Believe it or not, I know my name is the chaotic truth, but if I had a daughter who looked like Precious in the face from the movie Precious, I would definitely lie to her. Children are developing human beings, and they need that reassurance from adult figures, particularly their parents. However, with an uglier child, a child that looks like the crypt keeper in the face, what I would do is I would try to get them involved with as many activities as possible. I would tell them to study harder, you need to study math, you need to study science, you need to get into certain fields where your look doesn't matter, technology, etc. And I would try to dissuade her from going into fields where you do need looks. Like with a more attractive daughter, obviously I would tell a more attractive daughter to get into modeling, but a daughter who is not that attractive, I would steer her to a more trade oriented path, a more acting path. Generally, every actor or actress isn't the best looking. Sometimes being funny looking
Mm,
can get you movie gigs or commercial gigs, etc. So I would try to get her to get into a position where she has a large fan base. Like I said, Leslie Jones is real funny. I don't know any really super hot chicks that are funny, but super
okay.
hot chicks don't
It
have
doesn't
to be.
happen.
They don't have to. Right, it doesn't happen. But they don't have to be funny. But maybe
Yeah.
somebody who looks like Leslie Jones, the fact that you look funny and you're funny, you get a more like, for example, Lisa Lampanelli. She's a Jewish comedian, old white woman,
Right.
looks like Danny DeVito in the face, but but she is extremely funny. She's one of the most funniest women I've ever heard in my life. And generally, I would rather, if I just want to hang out and kick it, have a good time, I could be laid back. I would rather hang out with a Lisa Lampanelli than a model because. And not to say, guys, I'm already married, but not to say that I don't want you guys to think that I'm pulling models. I'm just giving an example because a girl who's a model, really pretty girls are really bland for real. I've been out with a lot of real pretty chicks and they're really dull. Like they're not funny, but they never had to cultivate a personality. Whereas
Exactly.
uglier girls, especially back in the day, the most funniest girls I've ever met were ugly girls. The most funniest girls I ever met were fat girls, but they knew their place in life. See, now the fat girl, the ugly girl, the girl who looks like Precious, she's positioning herself like a supermodel now. She can't
Wait,
do
wait,
that. But
chaotic. If that is the truth, if
yeah,
this is the truth, that a man he sees a woman that has a better personality, who has more vibrancy in her being rather than her looks, then why do men always go for this attractive
because
thing, or it's
it's
always
about
why?
it's about men are about status and men are about networking. And listen, before I got married, you know, um, I used to associate as much as I could around attractive people, at least in public, because at least in public, if you are with, especially one of my best friends, she just got married a few years ago. She's attractive, really attractive. She's actually been on my show a couple of times. Um, when I would be out in public just with her, and when she would go to the bathroom, dudes would come over to me and say, "Hey man, that's your girl, man. Hey man, who like they other dudes who they could be business owners, men who were they will want to connect with you and network with you because you're with an attractive female, and
So
that
that
happens a
means
lot. Yeah,
So that means the men aren't doing it for themselves, but they're doing it for other men. Just like Isaiah said in the chat, he says, Amira, gorgeous women get you into rooms.
yeah,
And
get you
thank you
into
again,
rooms. Yeah,
Samuel, for
yeah,
the $5 super chat. Thank you, Samuel, for the
yeah.
$5 super chat. I will
So
call out all the super chats in a
and
minute
then
in the break.
you got to also think too, Amir. At the end of the day, men, we're animals. I don't know what you believe personally, but I believe that we're just apes walking around with clothes on and driving. Give me a second. This is what I believe. We're just apes and we're just driving in metal tubes. But at the end of the day, we were designed to breed. And so when we look at an attractive female, that's what our biochemistry starts kicking in. So yes, men would prefer to be with an attractive female. Like listen, an ugly dude can't Netflix and chill all day because eventually the person he's Netflixing and chilling with, she's gonna look at him and say, "Man, that's a ugly. You a ugly dude." Whereas a good
No,
and I've seen it before. Really good looking dudes, a dude who's 6'4", who has a chiseled jaw. Oh, he can Netflix and chill all day and borrow the car, and that's normal. But if an ugly
I'm
dude,
gonna
but if an
I'm gonna
ugly dude were to
disagree.
do, but I'm just saying, generally, if an
No,
uglier dude does it, it's more of a problem. He's more of a burden on her. That's all I'm saying.
no, I want to disagree with you there because women tend to not look for men because of their looks. Because if that were the case, well, let me take that back. Wait a minute. When it comes down to looks, women love height, um, and typically body type. There are women. I mean, mostly us women, we like a height and a body type. Some women like men with a bit of a stomach. Some women like men with six pack. Some women like them just thin. And I believe that women tend to go for more of the height and the body type more than what they look like in their faces. And I believe that men typically are more, uh, what is it called? More susceptible to being tricked by women because of the faces, instead of women being tricked by men because of their faces. I mean,
Okay.
you guys can look. I'm gonna have a panel. I'm gonna put the link into the chat pretty soon, so you guys can come up and tell me if I'm wrong or if anybody has a disagreement, especially the women, because I'm just trying to speak for the women. Chaotic. I brought chaotic to speak for the men. Go ahead,
Yeah.
chaotic.
I want people to, if people are listening and they don't have a full understanding of what me and Amir are saying, do me a favor. Look at the people of Papua New Guinea. Look at those people, okay? And then look at German people, okay? When people say looks are in the eye of the beholder, that's bullshit. Looks are not in the eye of the beholder. For some reason, the monkey brain that we have, we perceive certain groups of people better looking and certain groups of people not better looking. One would say maybe the people in Papua New Guinea look like a primitive form of man. Could be. Maybe the reason why German people tend to look better is because they bred themselves to look better. Maybe the reason why Japanese people look better than Cambodians is because of a wealth thing. Maybe they're just like Japan is a wealthier country. I don't know. Why do Sudanese women look better than Nigerian women? So you have to ask yourself these questions. You know, if people are just trying to figure out, well, what is exactly chaotic or Amir is saying, um, but what we are saying, well, what I'm saying particularly is that you're gonna have to embrace being ugly. You know, you have to look in that mirror and say, I look like a toad. I look like a ninja turtle in the face. And then that will that I'm telling you, that's an enlightening moment. Because then when you
Ninja
realize
Turtle.
how no, seriously though, when you realize how hideous you are, when you realize how hideous you are, then you will say, man, I want to learn a different language. I want to focus on math. I want to focus on this because now you're not wondering, why didn't I get invited to that party? Why doesn't she like me or he like me? Or why didn't that dude buy me a drink? Why are those group of girls not calling? See, you gotta. I'm telling you, well, why didn't that job call me back? But I'm qualified. See, when you start realizing these things, it all goes back to how you look. Amir, let me tell you one story real quick. And I told this story on my stream
Wait,
last week.
before you tell the
It's real
story,
quick.
I have to acknowledge the audience. Thank you, Suk, for the $4 or $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I love the sticker; it's so cute. And thank you, Samuel the Infamous, for your $5 super chat as well. He says, "New channel, same Lioness. My new channel is Lioness Exile." Thank you so much, Samuel. And there was another super chat, but I can't find it right now. But thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate you all. I'm so happy to be back. Thank you, Chaotic. Sorry.
Okay. And I told this story last week when I did my show on uh do ugly men have a margin of error? I gave a story about my coworker. And my best friend, I hope he's watching because he can validate this. His name is Blue Cousin. When I was teaching many years ago at this charter school, I taught with mostly women because mostly women are teaching. And my coworker, who I used to hang out with, she was extremely attractive, Amir. Extremely attractive. She looked. Do you know who Ruby D is?
No.
Ruby D is she's dead, by the way. She died a couple of years ago. She was a very famous black actress. Um,
Hmm.
she lived into her 90s. But Ruby
I'll
D
look her
was
up.
Ruby D was extremely attractive. My coworker looked like Ruby D, like literally looked like Ruby D when Ruby
Oh
D was
wow,
young.
she's beautiful.
Right, when you
Yeah,
Ruby D was younger, of course,
yeah.
My coworker and her boyfriend got into an argument one day. It was in the morning before the kids came in the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
I guess he had broken up with her for 2 periods. 2 periods. Each period is 45 minutes, Ameera. She was in the hallway at this table with her head down, crying her eyes out for 2 periods. Nobody was in her classroom. 2 periods. The very next week, another teacher, female, a situation happened with her. Same situation. She was crying in the hallways or crying in the teacher's lounge. She got written up for leaving the classroom. She was wondering, how come I got written up, but such and such, I almost said her damn name, but how come such and such didn't get written up? And I had to tell her, it's because such and such is super hot. And and
Right.
and and the male and we had and the administrators, one was my fraternity brother. The administrators were men. So she couldn't understand, well, how come she didn't get written up? And I'm telling her it's because she looks super hot. That's what it is. They're attracted to her. The rules don't apply to her. She has pretty bitch privilege. Do you
Chaotic,
think I was
chaotic.
like, and I told her, Amir, I said, Amir, I was like, Miss Such and Such, do you think if I or a man cried in the hallway, we would even have our jobs? No, because men definitely can't. I'm not saying that I cry, but men definitely don't have pretty bitch privilege. And so that's how it works. But go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Chaotic, there is a saying where they say nobody cares about an ugly woman crying. A pretty woman can be crying and she's and then men will come, oh baby, what's
Mm-hmm.
wrong? Oh sweetheart, oh you pretty thing, you too pretty to be crying. And an ugly woman cries, they're like, go over there,
No,
move, get out the way. Wait, I want
no.
to respond to this person. Lady
Go ahead.
P, thank you, Lady P, for your comment. But she says, what's wrong with using the word unappealing instead of ugly, especially in relation to children? Because unappealing means ugly, Lady P. Unappealing means ugly. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lady P, and I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. But nonetheless, I do not use these soft words because that is the problem with our society today. This is the reason why we have a bunch of people outside who can't handle truth, real life, real adult life. This is the reason why, because of people like Lady P saying, let's just
Yeah.
use softer words, let's do this. No, we use the word that fits. And if it fits, it is what it is. I'm not using soft words. Thank you, Lady P, for the comment, though. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, JC. He says, fun question. If we develop the technology to choose what gender a baby is born, that's already out, which would women choose more often than the other, do you think? I know that in certain cultures, it depends on the culture. It does depend on the culture because I know in Eastern cultures, boys are preferred. No matter what, boys are preferred. And it also depends on if the baby is the first baby, the second baby, or so on. It also depends on the order, the baby's order. But in the East, boys are preferred. In the West, I don't know because
Mm.
they tend to demonize boys and say boys are so bad and boys, masculine. What's it called? Toxic masculinity and all of
Toxic.
that. So
Yeah.
maybe
Toxic. Yeah.
maybe girls are preferred here. I'm not sure. What do you think, Chaotic?
In the West, I would say boys are still preferred.
You would
In
think
the
so.
West, I almost know so. First of all, I hear men. I have friends who have kids now, and they even say that they want boys. I have a lot of friends who just had kids, and all they want is boys. I've heard women say, "I want a boy," because a woman wants a boy because when she gets old, who's going to protect her? You know,
Mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm.
I never really heard a female say, "I want a girl." Not to say that that doesn't exist, but I normally hear, "I want a son. I want a boy." Yeah.
And what do you think is part of the reason for that? Do you believe that women, because it could have to do with the attractiveness factor, that if you do end up having an attractive daughter, that it brings a lot of stress to the family, of her being
No,
pursued, or what do you think?
in my opinion, I believe people want boys because deep down inside, we all know that men build society and maintain it and manage it,
Oh,
whereas
you
women
can't
don't.
say that, chaotic.
Yeah.
Chaotic, you
Well,
can't
I'm the
say
chaotic
that.
truth, man. I'm telling you, man. Women, could you imagine a world ran by women? It would fall into chaos. Nothing, there would be no sewage workers. There would be nobody digging ditches. There wouldn't be any construction workers building skyscrapers. Come on. There wouldn't be any plumbers, electricians. There wouldn't be any firefighters. Come on. Stop. So people
I agree.
inherently know if you don't have enough men in the society, it will collapse. Yeah.
I agree. I have to agree. Now, the last topic, I do want to put the link into the chat for people who want to come up and speak with me and Chaotic. Do you mind, Chaotic?
Oh, I'm totally fine.
Okay, we can do like 30 minutes of a panel. But for now,
Totally
the
fine.
last thing, go ahead.
I said I'm rocking it out. I didn't know how long you were
Okay,
gonna be
okay.
up here, but I'm cool.
I usually do like an hour and a half, 2 hours
Okay.
typically. So we still have an hour left. So let me ask you, the last topic of my banners that I have, the last of my banners is the ugly society. And when I said the ugly society, I actually meant to say the ugly culture. And there is a culture that's less preferred around the world. If there is a culture that's less preferred around the world, the ugly culture, or the culture that produces the most ugliness, or you could say the group of people that produces the most ugliness, who
Mm-hmm.
would these people be? Who would this culture be? Would it be the Australian, that group of people in Australia
The
that they live?
Aborigine.
There you go. Would it be them? Would it be someplace down in, the foothills of Uganda? Would it be an Asian colony, some tribe? Who would it be, would you say?
I would say the most least desirable culture in terms of just aesthetic beauty would probably be, bless you, the individuals in Papua New Guinea, or it would be the Aborigine. They are not an attractive group of people, and it's not to bash their culture. In terms of attractiveness, they are just not the standard of beauty. Um, so I would bet that if you had individuals from Papua New Guinea moving into the West, they would be the least desired in terms of picking a mate or a choice. And then um, after that, I would have to say probably Eskimos, maybe. They're
You know
short.
who I,
Who
who comes to my head for women? I would say, unfortunately, guys don't get offended, but this is just in general. This is the Samoans for women. I believe that the Samoan tribes, they don't produce desirable women. The
but
men,
they
yes,
produce
because
huge dudes though.
the men, yeah, the
Yeah.
men are desirable, but the women are not because the
Mm,
women tend to have the features like the men, where they're very thick,
yeah.
very
Yeah.
tall, very, and I
Yeah.
think and let me ask you, the
Yo.
desirability of a group of people, do you believe that their attractiveness and desirability in the dating market affects their overall success as a group of people? Do you know what I mean? Like when it comes down to business and everything else, do you believe that
Yeah.
their okay, their attractiveness has anything to do with
Yeah. I mean, if you just look in politics, okay, let's use politics, right? So I know you said business, but let's use politics, right? Something that's easy
sure,
for people to follow.
sure,
If you look at America, right? If you look at um, let's use Barack Obama. Barack Obama, for people who don't know, Barack Obama is a very tall man. A lot of people don't know that. He's 6'2", 6'3". Um, very, very slender. He's not a model per se, but he has the facial structure uh, where he can go to different countries and be received well by the elites. If a 5'1" dude who looked like Gary Coleman was president, nobody would, more than likely nobody would respect him because it's an attractiveness thing. So in terms of commerce and business, particularly politics, people want to look at people who at least appear to be um, um, regal, if I could say that word. So that's why politicians and business owners tend to be tall, tend to be slender. You know,
Is that the regal look? Pardon me, chaotic. Is that the regal look of height?
Yeah, height. Yeah, most men are. So, for example, if Blue Cousins in the chat, he's my friend. Me and him started a business, a property preservation business, many years ago. Now he's about 5'10", 5'11" on a good day, and I'm shorter than him. I'm not a midget, but I'm way shorter than him. We were at a property that um, we were doing some work on, and the neighbors, of course, the neighbors are going to come over and say, "What's going on?" Asking a question. Instead of walking to me, they automatically walk to him. Now, me knowing what I
Oh,
know, and then of course he directed them to me because he was like, "Oh yeah, this is his stuff." But I didn't say, "Why did they go to him, Amir? Why? Why?" I already knew why they went to him. Well, he
right.
first of all, he has fair skin, and I'm shorter than him. And the neighbors were white, so of course they go to an individual that looks more like them. And I
The
don't think it's
power.
necessarily anything racist. I just think that that's how human beings are. You're typically more
Mm.
comfortable with people who look like you. For example, Amir, when I was in college, the Indian and the Chinese kids, they typically hung out more, or they typically hung out with each other. Well, one of the reasons is because of the fact that they're both Asian. So people tend to hang with people that look like them or are part of the same culture. Not, and of course, India and China are different cultures, but they're still both Asian people. So, whereas the black and the white kids, we share a common sort of like immediate history. So you wouldn't see the Indian kids at the house parties, but you see the black and white
I
kids
get it.
hanging all up. So what I'm saying is that yes, even in business, you want someone who looks attractive as the front person, or unless that person is super talented. So Bill Gates, he made his own shit. He doesn't have to look like Brad Pitt in the face because
Hmm.
he has the respect of changing the globe in terms of technology. So he doesn't have to look a certain way. He has political power. He has for damn sure economic power. He has educational power. So yeah, he doesn't have to look good. But best believe the majority of CEOs of companies that they did not found, CEOs is just a job you get hired for it. So
Right.
more than likely, if you go on any Fortune 500 and you look up the leadership team, the C-suite executives, and I'm talking about a company that was not founded by the CEO, like a Mark
Hmm.
Zuckerberg. I'm talking about a company that was founded 100 years ago. More than likely, that CEO is a tall, relatively good-looking white dude. Because again, it's just the nature of business, and most men like myself understand that.
Right.
I wouldn't want
Right.
no and no bullshit. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't want um, Danny DeVito. I hate to say it to run Apple Computer. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't run it.
Oh
Now,
goodness. So
if he founded
chaotic,
Apple, that would be different. But he just go ahead,
chaotic.
go
You
ahead.
talk too much.
Yeah, well, I'm just being honest. But go ahead, go ahead.
Chaotic. Did you know that when they have the presidential elections, that the taller man typically wins the election? You know that,
Well,
right?
of course, nobody likes short men generally.
Mm.
So unless this guy is very talented or just has power, then no. Vladimir Putin is my height, but Vladimir Putin was a part of the KGB. He
Mm-hmm.
he he had political influence before he became president. He got into certain circles. He had to work extra hard. That's why he's so feared there.
That's true.
His height deficiency made him ruthless behind closed doors. And I don't know what he's done, but I tell you this, in those inaugurations, if anybody watches his inaugurations, first of all, they're super theatrical. Look at how tall his generals are that are opening the door for him. They're like 6'6", 6'7". Do you think that the person who choreographed those inaugurations didn't do that on purpose? He could have had any of his generals, but what the fact is that this man is so powerful that he doesn't have to have the look. He doesn't have to um, have the height. it's really about what a man does to overcompensate for for his lack of attraction.
But see, women don't have that out, is what I was trying to tell you.
Well,
Women
that's
don't have
unfortunate.
that.
Then you have to
Yeah.
be super.
So
Then you have to hold that mop tighter. You have to be super domestic. You have to be super domestic if you look like Esther Roll in the face. You have to. You have to be
I
super
get
domestic.
it.
Oh yeah,
I get it. I
yeah.
get it. But I think Putin is still a gangster. I still
No,
think that
he
he's
is,
a
and that's what I'm
gangster.
saying. He's a gangster. He has a lot of attributes.
No, no, no.
He's
I
just
mean, he hasn't changed since he's president because people say
no,
sometimes we go into politics, all of a sudden you leave your
mm-mm,
gangster life behind.
no,
I
no,
don't think he did. I still believe he
no,
is all the gangster and all the president as
no.
well. Well, king, kind of. He's kind
Yeah,
of a king. What about Xi Jinping? Xi Jinping, is he taller than his people?
I
Which
think
wouldn't be
Xi
hard to do.
Jinping is about 5'11", 6 foot.
Oh, see, and then that's tall. That's tall for China. I mean,
I think he's about 6 foot. Yeah, he's 5'11".
hmm.
Yep, I just looked it up. He's 5'11". Yeah,
5'11", yikes. See,
and
for
so
women, the chaotic, no, wait, chaotic, give me a second. So
oh,
for
go ahead.
for
Go ahead.
women, we don't have that. So like you said, if a man is deficient in this, he just makes himself better. Not just makes himself better because I understand it's difficult. But for women, we use makeup. Women, we're just like, oh,
Mm,
okay, well, if I'm deficient here, I'll just put makeup on. And what I've noticed, and I think a lot of people have spoken about this, is that women, instead of making ourselves better like men do, what we'll do is just cover up what is wrong or just kind of ignore it and try to put the attention somewhere else. Example being, if a woman is unattractive for, let's say, her weight, then it's like, okay, well, I'm not thin and I'm not athletic looking, I'm not attractive there in the body section, but
mhm.
let me put some more makeup on, put my eyelashes longer, put my extensions longer in my hair, and maybe the guy won't notice my weight. You know what I mean? It's like, don't look over, no, look over here, look over here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then also the plastic surgery, of course, the whole BBLs and all of that is just a way to get out of doing exercise and get plastic put in. Um, I don't know. I don't know, chaotic. I think that the thing that women are doing is that they're just trying to do the same thing that men are able to do, but they're finding the easier way out instead of having to do self improvement. They just cover it up. What do you think?
uh,
Shaped like a water tower.
you're saying that women have it more difficult. I think that women are making it difficult, Amir. Um, Women who, in my opinion, who don't look like um, a Michelle Pfeiffer from the '80s, maybe they shouldn't put on makeup and go out anyway to the bars. Maybe they should focus on, you know what? I don't look like Michelle Pfeiffer from the '80s. I don't need to go out and be at the bars and getting men. I need to be at the library. Maybe I need to be at the art gallery. I need to be at the church. I need to be somewhere. I need to practice being domestic more. I think that lesser attractive women shouldn't even focus on wearing makeup. You don't have to focus on being super domestic.
You think so, chaotic?
I
I
know
mean,
so. I know
wait, but
so.
wouldn't that be the main woman that needs the makeup? Because you would say the
Mm-mm.
prettier women shouldn't focus on that. They should focus on being domestic, whilst
No,
leave the makeup to the uglier women. You know?
leave makeup to um, individuals who are in the industry, who are people who need to be in front of the camera
Right.
or models. Other than that, it's like a lot of women right now are looking like Miss Piggy, and that's one of the reasons why men like myself, before I got married, I didn't like going out because a lot of these women look like Miss, who Miss Piggy is, right?
I do. I do. She has on a lot of
Yeah,
makeup and she's still a pig. But I wanted
she's
to
still
bring
a,
up something. I wanted
and
to
that's what.
bring up something
Go
with
ahead.
you, chaotic, as well.
Go ahead.
You don't make me forget it because
No, just say it.
when
Just
you
say it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
back in the Victorian time, it was almost unheard of to see a woman be proud to wear rouge, to wear anything on her face, because in the Victorian era, Queen Victoria said, "The clean face is what makes a woman beautiful. If you want your cheeks to be red, go for a long walk in the morning. That will make your cheeks red. If you want red lips, make sure they're moisturized and bite them often if you want to have that red color instead of putting on lipstick. If you wanted, certain things that she would say, there are natural ways to achieve that makeup look without painting your face. So
Mm.
when you speak about this whole like don't wear makeup if you're ugly, it doesn't. I understand what you're trying to say, but I believe that makeup is, I don't know. I guess I can't really
Listen,
describe it.
um, what? Okay, so you were mentioning the Victorian age. What exactly were you going with that?
So in the Victorian age, like I said, Queen Victoria said that a woman who wears rouge is a woman of low quality, low value. She is rather fast. She said a woman who wears makeup or rouge, they didn't call it makeup back then, they called it rouge, that she's fast, that
Okay.
she's free and slick with it. I guess she said slick with it. But and that's what she said. She said we shouldn't be tricking the men. But Queen Victoria said that she didn't wear an ounce of makeup on her face ever. You would never see her with makeup on. So all of the women tended to go towards that back in her era. Now, when she passed away and King Edward came, it was the Edwardian period, and in that period, the women went crazy with makeup, and there was a lot more vulgarity in bars. Women tended to act more vulgar when they had on rouge and makeup. You saw a lot more immodesty. You saw a complete change in the street culture in the Edwardian era versus the Victorian. And I believe that there was a correlation of this between makeup. I believe that makeup was the glue that was the defining factor, whether it would be a vulgar society or whether it would be a clean, dignified society.
Yeah, I'm following you. I'm following you. You're saying that makeup, if it's introduced to the larger population, it becomes more. For example, like on the same scale as what has look at what social media has done to society, right? So basically, makeup allowed women to be more raunchier or is that what you're saying? Whereas before they didn't do all these things, but the makeup sort of like empowered them to do it because it transformed them to a degree.
Transforms
I get what
you.
you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I never looked at it that way. And this is why I always say some technologies in some for example, like things like makeup, right? Maybe there's a reason why it was only for the elites or the royal class, even like language. Maybe, and I'm very appreciative of our ancient ancestors who I don't know when it started, but allow the common peasants to start learning languages. But people have to understand in ancient kingdoms, the peasants didn't know the damn language.
It
And
was for
maybe there's a
trading.
reason why people didn't know hieroglyphs thousands of years ago or how to read Babylonian. Because shit, if you know how to read, then I could conquer it. I could conquer the damn government. I could overthrow the government. So I think introducing makeup into the equation probably did add to promiscuity, or this, that, and the other. So yeah, I never thought about that before. I
But
never,
it does, chaotic. It really does change
yeah, I never thought
the
about that.
women. It changes how you feel, and you see many women. If you push them out of their homes without an ounce of
Yeah,
makeup on their face, they'll be more submissive, like more covered,
yeah.
more shy, and more like more kid like, almost like children. I start acting like a child. But if you
Mm,
put makeup on her and glam her up and push her outside the door, all of a sudden she goes out and no one can talk to me. What? Oh, why are you
yeah.
looking at me? You can't even talk to
Whereas,
me.
whereas if she was not wearing makeup, she wouldn't have that attitude, and she would be not cutting off a potential mate. Whereas now, makeup, BBLs, it is empowering the ugly girls now, and they are cutting off potential mates now because they think that they are the elite. Oh, I get it. Oh, I totally get it. Good. I never thought about that. I'm gonna look that up though. But yeah, I never thought about that.
Well, that was the thing, and it wasn't even about elite. It was about like street women. She said
Yeah.
that makeup should be. Oh, hi, Clue. So we have some guests in the back.
Go ahead.
If you guys are ready to come on, let Mr. Coleman know. I can't see it. I don't have the control today, so I'm at the mercy of the HR here. So please, I would like
Yeah.
to get 777 up, and I would like to get Clue up, please. Yeah. All right, here we go. Hi, Clue.
What's going on, Chaotic Lioness? That's
What's
Chaotic
going on?
Truth and Ameera together.
What's going
Hi.
on?
Yeah. I like to see y'all together. Y'all are really good on the Lapeef Network. I mean, y'all, the way y'all play against each other, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. I know like Chaotic is one of my favorite co-hosts. Like I do
Yeah.
love doing panels
That's
with
a
him,
good
doing shows with
dude.
him. He
Chaotic
is.
is a good dude. Just all
Thank you.
around.
Thank you.
So what do you have on the topic? Hi, female energy, and hi, little ba. What do you have, Clue, on the topic at hand here about confidence? Your confidence versus being ugly. How can you be confident when you're ugly? And does makeup change that? What we were talking about right now is how makeup boosts your confidence and so on. But you can talk about whatever you want to talk about regarding the subject. What do you
Well,
have for us, Clue?
well, makeup is, and this is what I hear. Makeup is the devil, basically.
Mm.
It's paint to make you. It's paint that you put on your face to make you look like somebody else, to make you look
Hmm.
desirable, sexually attractive when you're not. I mean, a lot of
But
people.
isn't there levels to that, Clue? I mean, there's a difference between a woman putting on some mascara to brighten up her eyes
Yeah, there
versus a
are
woman
levels.
contouring and doing all of
Yeah,
the nonsense,
there
right?
are levels. There are
Yeah.
levels. I mean, using makeup to enhance what you already have is one thing, but using makeup to actually transform your entire face, that's another thing.
So what about ugly women? Let's start with ugly women, and then I want to get your view on ugly men, Clue. What
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
think about ugly women? Because a woman cannot just improve herself or improve her financial value, and that's going to change how she's seen by the world. When a woman is ugly, that is just it. She's just ugly, and unless she gets thin and in shape and becomes athletic, the majority of men probably won't pay attention to her. What is she to do, Clue?
See, okay. That's a tough question because, okay. What is an ugly woman to do? She doesn't want to overdo the makeup. She doesn't want to lie to the man that she's dating.
Okay.
Shit. I don't.
I mean, that's a
I
good
don't know.
start.
That's a tough question. She doesn't want to
Oh, I see.
overdo it.
The chat is saying to increase her virtue by making herself, stay virtuous, be a virtuous woman, meaning I'm assuming
Yeah,
don't.
but that can't help your ugliness. I mean, am I wrong? Mirror, chaotic. Am I wrong?
You got the
You
you got
can't
the floor. Man.
apologize for ugly, can you? I mean,
But you see, for a man, okay, let's get your views on the ugly man then. Because
okay.
I have a different, so what do you think for ugly man? What is he to do? Because the answer is completely different for sure.
Well, an ugly man. Well, all of us started off as ugly.
Someone said disappear.
All of us started off. All of us men started off as ugly. We were undesired in school. We didn't become desirable until we had money. See, it's a different story with men. It's a different story. We become desirable because we make money. We become attractive because we make money. Okay, it's a different story for men. So
So what about the children then? The ugly child.
the ugly child.
Is the parent supposed to lie to the child and give them the false sense of self-esteem or false sense of confidence when
The
in
ugly child.
reality the world is going to tell him or
But
her who
what
what it
what
is?
gender? What gender are we talking about with the child?
Let's start
Amira.
with the girl. Let's start with the girl
Okay,
child.
the girl. So she's ugly as a child. Well, the the parent has to tell her that she needs to be she needs to stay in school, become valuable as as an income as an earner. She has to be an earner. She cannot use her beauty to trade. She can't. If she's ugly, she cannot use her beauty to trade. So she has to be in school. She has to be, get her master's degree and all that good stuff. And sad to say, but that's what she has to do.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me be honest with you guys. The reason I say this, and Miss I Am Awake, are you? Please do not tell me to not talk about children. This is a topic that I want to speak about. If it's sensitive to you, anyway. The reason I'm bringing this up is there's a reason because of it. Because Asian parents, if you notice, Chinese parents, they have no qualms with telling their child what it is or what it isn't. If you notice, Asian parents will tell the child straight out, honey, you ugly. It's okay. They will tell them, you fat, you ugly. They don't lie to their children, and their children are extremely successful. I believe that growing up on a foundation of honesty and knowing where you truly stand makes you more successful in the end. Am I wrong?
Very
Ameera,
true.
why did you say that in an Asian accent?
Because that's the voice that I hear. That is the voice that I hear.
You ugly.
She says it like that. She's like, you ugly. Go do homework. Go do homework. And that's the thing, is like, they don't lie to their children. They actually say the truth. And yet, as you've seen, their children turn out more successful than the rest. And is that because they don't grow up with this lie or this idea or this illusion of grandeur when it's not true? And I think this is more damaging than telling a child that they're ugly. It's more damaging to have them thinking that there's something that they're not. And
I agree. I agree.
Anyway.
Yeah, such a great topic tonight. Thank you for having me up here. Chaotic, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing awesome, man.
Awesome, great. Ameera, Kefalik, how are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. I would just like to say, I don't know if the Clue channel was done. All right, sir, are you done?
Oh, you can go ahead. I'm done. You can
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
And whereabouts do you live? Do you live in the South?
I am currently in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
I'm from Dallas, Texas. Yeah, the South.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what it is about the South, but the South has a lot of ugly, disgusting looking people.
Oh my God.
I agree.
Respectfully.
You thought I was going to disagree? No.
No.
I agree.
Respectfully, but I want to know, is it something sometimes there's an old saying that there must be something in the water
It's
down
something
there.
in the water.
What
It's
is
something
it?
in the water.
Is
Yeah.
it from you guys? It seems to be like down south they do a lot of kissing cousins, respectfully. Is that
Oh
Well,
my God.
It's a lot of that. Okay, hold on. Don't hold on.
because that's where
He
ugly
has a
comes
point.
from. Ugly
He does
comes
have a
from.
point.
Thank you. Go ahead.
There's a lot. Well, here's what happened with black people.
Don't.
I'm gonna
Oh
talk
no,
about
no!
I'm
Don't
just gonna talk
disrespect.
about black people.
Please don't be disrespectful up here, though.
I'm just gonna talk about black people. Okay,
Sir, are you black?
I am.
No, you're not.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know Clue. He
Oh,
is.
okay. Okay. I'm just making
Ameera
sure.
can vouch for my blackadry. All right. All right.
You sound like a white man. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you. I love compliments. Anyway, here's what's going on in the South. You got a lot of people who went to their high schools, went to their elementary schools, stayed in the zip code they were in, spent their whole lives in that zip code, married somebody in that zip code, had kids. And those kids did the same thing. Stayed in that zip code, married within that zip code, had kids. And those kids did the same thing and repeat. So you're bound to, there's bound to be some incest in there somewhere.
Oh.
That's what happened in the South.
That's what happened in the UK as well.
Right. Disgusting. A lot of ugly people in the UK. If we're talking about ugliness, I believe the British are some of the ugliest human beings on the face of this planet.
I disagree.
Well,
My
the
fiance is British. She's not ugly. She's a beautiful woman.
Respectfully.
That's because of the dental hygiene. That's because of the dental issues that they
Ameera.
have there, I believe.
Ameera.
No, that it's true. It is true.
Ameera.
Am I racist again? Is this what it is? Chaotic? Chaotic's more racist than me. And
Yes. I'm sorry, Clue. You said who was British?
My fiance is British, so I
Your
disagree with
fiance?
what Mr. Radio is saying.
Oh, okay.
Is she black or white?
She is white.
And she's a white Brit. Okay.
Yeah. Redhead. Yeah.
Now,
Shout out to the redheads.
I'm just curious. Why wouldn't you find a black queen, seeing how you are of African descent? You said, right?
I'm what my country calls black.
So
Yes.
why wouldn't you find a beautiful black ebony queen? What made you go in and get yourself a cracker, respectfully?
A
Oh
cracker,
no.
respectfully. Did you say
Oh
cracker?
no.
Did you say respectfully after the word cracker?
A white woman.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
goodness.
I did not hook up with her because she was white. I hooked up with her because she was awesome, and she happened to be white.
A lot
There's
of
a difference.
ugly black men prefer white women.
I'm
Is
not
that
an ugly. I'm not an ugly black man. I'm actually a beautiful black
you
man.
don't have to be intimidated by me saying that. That's just a statement.
I'm not intimidated at
A
all.
lot of ugly black men pick white women.
No, let me
Yeah.
correct you on that. Let me
No.
correct you on that.
Yeah.
Let me correct you on it.
You can't
left
correct
out a
me.
word. You left out a word. A lot of ugly black men pick fat white women. My
No.
woman is 90 pounds. So
90.
there you go.
90
90.
is not true.
90. Yes, 90 pounds.
No-
She's
no
I
not
don't
fat.
woman-
believe that clue.
She's
I don't
not
believe
fat.
that.
She's
You
not
got
fat.
you got a big old
She weighs
fat,
less than Ameera.
You got a fat mayo jar. That's what you got.
No,
90 pounds clue is not healthy. Who are you?
90
It sounds
pounds
like
is
a
healthy if
12-year-old
you're
child.
5'1".
She's 900
Okay.
pounds.
She's 5'1". She's a short lady. Yeah.
Sure. I believe you, sir.
So I had to correct Mr. Radio because he,
Yes, sir. Mhm.
I love Little Ba. He's always starting trouble. So Little Ba says, "Are you sure it's not 90 kilos, sir?"
Mm.
I was 90 pounds.
Stop
90
it.
pounds.
Stop it.
Native American women are also the ugliest women on the face of this planet as well, in my
I think
opinion.
Mr. Radio is a
Native
troll.
American?
What do you
Native
think,
American
Mr.
women
Truth?
are there's only one or two maybe models that are Native American. They're
Well, Clue,
hideous.
that the same has been said about you, Clue. People have thought that you were a troll as well, but
I'm not a troll.
here we are.
I'm a real
But
dude.
people have said that about you, but
They have?
it's not true. So let's give radio a chance, yeah?
Okay,
I
radio.
mean,
you got
so
the floor.
Clue, I see you have an issue with me saying that you're most likely an ugly black man who
No, I'm a
married a
beautiful
white
black
woman.
man. Beautiful black
Okay,
man.
but your issue is me saying that your wife might be ugly.
She's a beautiful British woman.
Now, the original statement was, why couldn't you find a beautiful black queen?
What's a black queen? Isn't a queen? Isn't there supposed to be one queen to every kingdom?
No, sir.
If
black
they're all queens, then nobody's a queen.
Sir, black women are queens in their own birthright.
If they're all queens, then nobody's a queen.
So you hate your own colors. You hate your own skin.
Wait,
You hate,
all black
I hate
women
my
are born
mama?
queens?
Is that your next statement? I hate my mama?
It must be.
Nah, I love mama.
Is
Mama's
that the
cool.
case?
Mama's cool.
Real quick, guys. Amir, to the gentleman that is managing the show, Bad Blood is Anna, so Anna's good. Yep.
Okay.
But Anna, just
Mr.
don't use the
Coleman,
F.
Anna's good.
Yep.
I like Anna. I don't know why everybody has an issue with Anna. Anna's cool with me.
But there's
Hello,
certain
everyone.
words.
Shout out to
Anna, just don't use the F word, okay?
There's just certain
I'm
words,
not-
yeah.
I'm not.
Okay.
This
Go
is
ahead.
a beautiful topic, and I like these type of topics. So I'm very debatable on these topics.
It's her. No, take her.
You don't
off,
want
Mr.
you don't
Coleman.
want Anna, Amir?
Anna's cool. Anna's cool.
Hold on for a second,
Anna's
Amir.
cool.
You don't want Anna. I mean, Amir, you don't want Anna?
It depends on. Are you going to behave, Anna?
Yes,
cool.
I like debating on these type of topics.
Anna's cool.
Okay. The moment you start, Anna, please. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, when you say start, do you mean like racist stuff? Because I don't say racist stuff. I just speak my mind of how I feel about these type of topics. So what do you mean?
No, I mean, don't start cursing. Please don't start cursing. Don't start yelling. Don't start speaking over people. All of those things. That's what I'm talking about. I don't mind any other opinions. Anybody can be racist if they want. They can be mean. They can be sexist. I don't care. But let's just be calm. Okay.
All right, I'll wait my turn. I won't interrupt. I'll wait my turn.
Anna. PG-13. PG-13.
Fatizic.
But I would like to say something whenever you guys are done.
Yes, Anna. Go ahead.
Hello, Anna.
Okay, as far as attractiveness, I do feel like I don't feel like we should have to force women to see themselves as ugly, even if the universe see them as ugly. I think that because then there would be a lot of suicides. Honestly, attractiveness is very important on women. It is. You know what I mean? If those women are delusional, then how about we just leave those women alone? But to make them say, just to be like, oh, well, you can't see yourself as beautiful. You need to see yourself as ugly when you look in the mirror. I just disagree with that respectfully. I feel like we live in a free country and we shouldn't limit people. We shouldn't try to force people to see something because then that's just as equal as the LGBTQ forcing their views on people. You can't force your views on other people. It's very hypocritical. I'm totally against that. I'm all about freedom. And it's like you're trying to force someone to believe in your narrative of what in society's narrative of what they believe in. I think when people look in the mirror, they should be able to believe in what they believe. Now, as far as attractiveness, I feel like people are allowed to see what they believe as attractive and unattractive. Now, worldwide, there is a worldwide standard, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Worldwide, black features are typically not for men, but for women. I want to be particular, and I have a theory for that. For women, black features are typically the most unattractive compared to other groups because, like Ameera said at the beginning, bigger features are typically unattractive. And I want to be brutally honest here. Everybody knows I'm typically brutally honest. I don't sugarcoat anything, and I don't mind stating facts. Let's be honest here. Broad features, broad. When we say the word broad, it means big. It means strong. We don't like strong features on women. I've said that before. A chaotic truth. You literally had a debate on like Candace Owens criticizing that one black chick for calling herself beautiful. Now, a lot of you guys will be like, oh, you contradict yourself. I never contradict myself. I mean exactly what I say. That woman have a right to look in a mirror and call herself a baddie or call herself a 10. That shouldn't affect anybody else of what they feel about themselves. That's just a personal problem on your end. But as far as beautiful, if society, no, to society, she's not beautiful. And that's okay. They have a right to believe that. You know what I
Anna,
mean?
do you hate being black, Anna?
I do because I do feel like I'm a part of the losing team. Like I feel like black is the most unattractive, or the least desired. And you know what? Here's the Here's the. This is why a lot of people don't like me. I'm brutally honest. I don't mind being honest, but I hate when people try to sugarcoat it. You have these people, manosphere. I don't want to really bring them up. Don't
Whew.
really want to. I'm
Wow.
so over them. But it's these people. They're like, oh well, black women are the least desired because not because of this, it's because of the stereotypes. And it's like, well, how come it doesn't go for white women when they're called Karens? How come they're not the least desired? How come Latinas are not the least desired and they're spicy, but we dress it up? And it's the real reason is because of our features. Because how is it that worldwide black women are very undesirable? It's not. I'm not here to play a poor me. I want to keep reinforcing it every time. I'm here just to be brutally honest. This
I
is
have to
reality.
disagree.
No,
I have
it's
to.
reality. I want to be honest. No, you can have your opinion, but
No,
not to
well,
force
can you
your
stop
opinion
for a
on me.
second? Can you just give somebody else a time to speak?
Yes, but I want
Thank
to
you. Thank
finish.
you.
Well, she wasn't finished
Oh,
yet. I
I'm
mean,
sorry,
just
Anna. Go
with
ahead.
all
Yeah,
due respect, she wasn't finished
just
yet.
to wrap this up, in my personal opinion, I think the reason why, and it's kind of like a crime if a black woman say, "Oh, I'm a 10," because let's be honest here, not you can't really find a black woman who's considered a 10. You ask any man,
Facts.
name a white woman who's a 10, name a Latina
Not
who's a
true.
10, name a mixed race woman who's a 10. Pretty sure they can come up with 10 names. But you ask a black man, name a dark skinned woman with broad features, traditional African features that is considered a 10. He won't be able to think of one. It's been countless of videos of that. And that's okay. He has every right to find what he finds is beautiful. It's a free country. Me, I don't really find black features attractive either because they're just broad. They're really broad looking. I just think big nose, big lips. It's not really, I think normal size features are, things that's not too big, too thin, too this, too that. To me, also, I don't think pale, pasty skin is beautiful. And I don't think dark, dark, dark skin. I think the medium
I
skin.
agree with the pale part.
And that's
I
just
agree
my
with the pale.
opinion. But that doesn't mean that that is limited to everyone. And that doesn't mean that someone with pale skin or someone with dark skin don't have a right to feel beautiful. I think that we try to limit people. We in this woke society where people are not allowed to freely express how they feel about themselves. And it's
Thank
crazy.
you, Anna. Thank you, Anna, so much. Does anybody want to have a rebuttal to Anna? Ona?
I think that's
I agree
disgusting.
with what was
I'm.
said.
I think
Me
that
too. I agree with
Complete
it.
mental
opposites.
illness needs medication. I think
Oh
that I
wow.
don't know if this woman is hungry. And sometimes when you're hungry, you
I
start
think she's
talking.
speaking
Wait,
facts.
no, guys, let's not be
Yeah.
She's speaking
insulting to
facts
each
to
other.
me.
I'm
Just
not insulting
respond to her.
anyone. I don't think I was
Respond to
being.
She's
her
speaking facts to me.
points.
I
We
mean,
hear you, Clue.
The
the
reason
clue.
why I talk fast because I'm afraid
Mhm.
people are going to interrupt me. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just think this woman needs some serious help. I think that she has a
No,
lot
she
of hate.
doesn't.
Clue, you're married, so you should mind your own business when I'm speaking about
Ooh,
something.
ooh,
Well, you're
ooh,
married to a white woman that's 80 pounds, you
ooh.
said.
Married to a white woman. Ooh,
And you're actually white, probably.
nah,
So,
black dude.
I
Black
just
dude.
I
think that
wouldn't lie
Anna,
to you, Radio.
Ameera see me.
that's
I'm
great,
black.
Clue.
I wouldn't lie to
No
you,
one
Radio. I
cares.
promise.
No one cares, Clue. So I think that maybe Anna needs a meal. She probably hasn't ate all day. She's hangry, and I don't really believe it. I think it's all for the internet. She's actually
But let me
black.
ask you,
She's
Radio,
black.
let me ask you,
Yeah.
what makes you think that she's angry because she's saying her point of view?
Well,
Good
first of
question.
all, I'm not sure if she's Chinese or what, but I get that she
Stop
hates.
laughing, chaotic.
I understand that she hates herself. I don't think she should say that she hates all black women. I think it's really.
I don't think she said that.
She never says she
She
hates
did say
black
Can I
that.
women.
clarify? I don't say
She says
that
all, she
because
said
not
all
all
black
black
women
women.
are ugly.
Well, no. Not all
She
black
didn't
women
say
have the
that.
same features.
All
I can
black
That's not
name
what she
you
women's
said.
features are ugly.
She
Kayla
didn't say that.
Off of the Lapeef Network show
No,
is beautiful. Not I'm talking about the not the KA show, the dark skinned one. She's
Yeah, Kayla.
extremely gorgeous.
Mhm.
I'm saying the least desired. So I'm talking about on average. On average, I'm not saying every single because there's so many dark skinned black women who are beautiful. Have you seen Bernice Burgos? Like, I'm sorry, there's so many black women who are beautiful. I'm just saying average on average, the traditional broad features is just not attractive, especially for a woman. Now on men, it's different because obviously we could see the outcome on black men. Women like those broad, big, giant, masculine features on a man. But on the opposite spectrum, those big, giant, broad, masculine features on a woman, men just really not into that. And I'm not you can say something's wrong with me all day long, but I'm
Oh
going off
no,
of
no.
what society is. Look at society. Is something wrong with society then? They have a right to like what they like. And
Are you
let's be
saying
honest
wide
here.
noses? When you say broad, are you saying wide nose? Is that what you're trying to
She
imply,
actually
ma'am?
she said
Broad, yes,
broad.
wide, as far as
Wide
broad.
noses? What is broad on a black woman?
Broad is typically when the nose is like narrow for a white person is where the nose kind of line up, it goes straight down. But for a black woman, it kind of goes down, then it go and then it stops, and then it spirals out. Like
Ah.
the nose spirals.
Do you hear
It
that?
spirals out.
Ah.
So
I
it
want to get
doesn't.
Clue. Oh, I'm sorry, Anna. Are you?
You're a horrible
Like
I
my
human
want to
nose,
get.
look at my nose. It spirals out at the end. And
being.
look at Amira's nose. It goes straight down. It's like narrow. So it's the shape of it. It's basically the shape. Let's just be honest here. It's the shape.
so are you saying that
I get what
Amira
you're
has
saying.
the? So you're saying Anna Amira has the standard nose for a female?
It's not really the standard either. Let's just be honest
She's
here. We're
saying that
really picky
Ameera
in
has a
society.
fuckable nose.
We're really picky in society too, because I've seen some people who have some fucked up, weird,
You
crooked
got to watch that
Oh,
F
you
neuro.
word.
got can't swear.
Holy crap! Holy crap! I'm sorry.
Can't swear.
I'm so sorry.
That was
And
my
some
fault.
people I've seen who have narrow noses and it's crooked and super, super long when they turn to the side. And that's not attractive to the average man. You know what I mean? But let's be honest here. Let's not act like ugly people don't have dates. I've seen so many what society would consider ugly. Guess what? They're pregnant somehow. So
Well,
like,
I
It's
want to get
true.
Clue's view on what you're saying because apparently Clue agrees with you. Clue, why do you agree with Anna? Are you self-hating yourself too? Because
Clearly.
that's what she says.
Self-hating myself too? No.
That's what they say she's doing. So what? Why do you agree with her?
I agree with Anna because uh, the damage to black people is deep. The damage to black people is deep. That's why I agree with Anna. Anna, I'm sorry.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
The damage to black people is
Yeah.
deep. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a deep statement.
Yeah.
Radio, please be nice. Is radio secretly the patriarchy? Is your name patriarchy by chance,
No,
Eric? No,
no.
not Aaron. Okay.
Well, radio has a
Clue.
better mic than patriarchy. Shout out to PSB.
Clue, please. Why? Can you please elaborate?
Well, blacks have been told that they're not pretty
Wow.
for hundreds of years. They've been told that, we abide by the European standard of beauty, and you're not the European standard of beauty.
I respectfully disagree.
Your hair is not straight, all right? Your nose is not thin. You don't have the features of the European standard of beauty. So
No, we're not going to blame white people. I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
I'm not blaming white people.
Anna, please let
I'm
him
telling
finish.
I'm telling everybody, I'm telling the audience that black people have been told this. They've been told, and I'm not apologizing for black people for this. They've been told that they are not the European standard of beauty. And the European standard of beauty is long hair, like Ameera. Look at Ameera. Your hair should look like Ameera's hair. That's what they've been told. Your hair does not look like Ameera. You're
I'm
ugly.
going off.
That's
You're
not
ugly.
true because there's a whole lot of biracials with curly
Why
hair.
did you calm down, Ameera?
I'm not doing
I
this.
have to respectfully disagree because let's be honest here, even in Africa, you have a white chick go over there or mixed race chick, they're glorified, it's seen as, I have to disagree. It's not because people are conditioned. It's that people literally it's not like, oh, I was conditioned as a kid, so now I see it this way because I was told this my whole entire life. No, like when I'm just picturing myself in a white man's position or an Indian man's position or an Asian man's position. When they're growing up, I feel like they just naturally find what's beautiful and what's not. And I'm gonna do a video on this as well, as far as a clip that I seen. It was we do go off of looks, and it was they was interviewing this little 6-year-old little boy. He was like, "Do you have any crushes?" And he was like, "Yes, I have a crush, but I don't really want to say." And then he was like, and then the interviewer was like, "Oh, well, what do you like about the girl?" She's like, "Oh, because she's pretty. She has long hair." And they interviewed another one. Oh, she had curly hair. The thing is, features, those common features, long curly hair or long straight hair or long, it's worldwide. And it's not that people are conditioned. That sounds silly that people are conditioned. I feel like we're at this point trying to force people to like certain features. That's kind of like what Chaotic Truth did with you have to find dark-skinned woman. Candace Owens didn't find that woman beautiful. Now, Candace Owens was wrong for telling that woman that she's not allowed to see herself as beautiful. But Candace Owens do have a right to find that woman as unattractive. Now, as far as the features, as far as that goes, a lot of, and I don't want to say this to be like, because I don't want, I don't know if it'll get flagged or not, because it's not a curse word or anything. And it's my son black, so I can say this, but a lot of our features have been compared to apes.
Son is
you know
black.
what I mean? And we have been compared to apes, and if you look at apes, they're not really beautiful.
Ma'am, did you say your son is black, ma'am?
No, I said I'm black myself.
You
so
don't
I can
have
say
children,
that.
though, do you?
No, I don't.
Well, thank God. Make sure whatever you do, don't ever have children.
Oh,
ever.
no, I will. They're going to be by a white man, though. I've already said that.
That was
not
mean,
by a
Radio.
Not by an Asian,
Radio,
not by
that was
an
very
Indian,
mean
not
to
by
say
black
that to a
man.
black
A
woman.
woman like
No, he
you
can say whatever he
never,
wants. He can
you
say
should
what he
never
wants.
have
Like,
children.
Why did you say that to a
Why-
black woman?
That your
Is
vagina
it because?
broken,
Is it because? Okay, my thing.
Well,
why are
you
you
don't
talking
know
about
her
my
Never have
body? You
children.
might
One at a
be
time.
wrong.
Sick
One at a
human
time,
being.
please.
You are sick human being.
Real quick, Ameera, can you highlight what lead her ship 22 said?
I can't because HR has the reins right now.
Okay.
Here, go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read it.
Lead her ship 2022. 22. Thank you so much for coming to the Lapeef Network. Says Ameera has makeup and lashes on. I wouldn't be surprised if she has extensions. And Chaotic is ugly as fuck. What else did y'all want to talk about?
You can't say the F word, Mr.
It's not
Chaotic.
extensions. It's a wig.
Go ahead, guys. You got the floor. Go ahead.
It's a mask.
Go ahead.
My
No,
teeth are fake too. Everything is fake.
but it's just worldwide. How do you explain it in India? How do you explain it over in Africa? That's what, when a lot of these African kings, they become kings, reward themselves by getting a white wife. I've seen it. A lot of these, even
Mm.
in the music videos, when they put them in music videos, they create music. It's typically a very, very lighter complected. They reward themselves. Why do you think that is? It's not because they're programmed to think that. It's because they actually like that. They actually find that to be beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with it. Let's just be honest here. Some people are seen as unattractive. Look at me for an example. I'm probably seen as unattractive to hell of people. Do I look in the mirror and sometimes think that? Sometimes I do.
Ask the chat to do a poll. Ask the chat. Let's do a
They
poll
can do
question.
that, and guess what? In the mirror, it still doesn't change what I feel about myself.
Anna, let's do a poll question. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Anna is gorgeous. Put a 2
This
if you
is
think
cringy
she's not.
because it's like I'm looking for validation, but I
think-
don't
Well,
like looking
no,
for
no, no.
I
validation.
think Anna is gorgeous.
I don't want us to do
I'm
that.
put my
Guys,
1 in
1
the
minute.
chat.
1 minute, guys. 1 minute. I don't want to do that because, first of all, people have a different view of Anna because of people don't agree with her. So there's people.
Oh,
Look,
Stacey.
no, wait. I just want to say something really quickly. I get the same thing. If we do this, the people who don't like me will say I'm ugly. The people who somewhat like me or do like me will say I'm cute. So that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be fair. What I want to ask you guys is a question. I want to ask you guys all the whole panel question. When it comes down to average looks, do you guys remember Kevin Samuels' video, Average at Best? That's the one that got Kevin Samuels really on the map. Now, when the whole argument about that was that women don't like being called average. Women don't like being seen as average, even if they are average. I have women who say, I'm average and I'm pretty. So what do you guys think about that idea of women not being able to accept looking average and women who are actually ugly calling themselves a 10?
I think ugly women are good because they're easier to get in bed. So ugly women do have a certain quality to them that is good for society. So just because a woman is ugly doesn't mean she should be casted out. If anything, that's an ugly woman is made for an ugly man that can't get any buns, respectfully, and that is what she was born for. An ugly woman was born to be an ugly man's wife. So to me, it makes sense. Like an average woman is made for an average man. So shout out to all you average women out there. There's someone for everyone, and you'll find an ugly, suitor, if you will.
Women. That's the bottom line. Women compete with other women, so they don't want to be looked at as average because they're competing against each other.
Exactly, it's a competition.
Yeah, it's like even with the average thing, the reason why I think now, look, let me tell you something about myself, just being brutally honest. Last week I feel like a piece of crap. I feel like I was a -10. I felt so ugly. And now I just feel average. And some days, not gonna lie, some days when I look in the mirror, because 10 means what? You're perfect, 10 means you're stunning. Some days when I look in a mirror, I feel like, wow, 10 means the best you can look. And when I look in a mirror some days, and this can make a lot of people feel uncomfortable, but some days when I look in a mirror, I think, wow, this is the best I can look. I feel so beautiful. I feel stunning. I feel perfect today. I look so perfect and gorgeous today. I feel like a 10. And that can really set some ears off, but it's okay. You know what I mean? My thing is, it doesn't change me. I'm stone-hearted.
Right.
The only time I feel low about myself is when I put myself low, but then I also boost myself up. And I think it's because I'm diagnosed with bipolar type 1, but it's okay. I never really let the commenters get to me or I never let people inside of me because it's like, that's not her line. Never let people inside of my brain because it's like, I don't really care about everyone else because unless you're paying my bills, I'm very selfish. And some people call me conceited, but if you're not paying my bills, you're not actually in my life, I don't really care about your opinion. I'm going to challenge it because I'm bored or something or, but other than that, it's just, it makes me, I challenge it because I want to know the mindset of others. Like, why do they think the way they do?
Maybe a 4. Maybe a 4 on your best day.
Boo-hoo. And you probably look like an ape.
No, respectfully, a 4.
The issue with a lot of that commentary, are you getting 10 results? Because a lot of the women will just call themselves 10s or look good just before a self-esteem boost. And then complain that women, or at least men, aren't, giving them the attention that they want. Like women who are up there in the beauty department, they're always getting like sought out for, modeling deals, and, they know celebrities from a first name basis because, they're DMing them and all kinds of agencies are coming after them. So you
Well, I don't
can call
consider that
yourself
a
a
10.
10. You can call you want, and and still complain while you're
Is there a reason why you're sitting on the floor?
okay. You're not getting those results that a 10 or 9 or 8 would usually
But
get.
that's also
So I don't know
that's
what's
also
all the
opinionated
complaining about.
too. Because who says that that is what a 10 is? I've seen some ugly dark skinned chicks that got the same modeling deals. There's some models who are ugly, but we want to who society
No,
would deem as ugly.
no,
So
please
well
stop. Let's
that's
not do that.
there,
Let's not do
no no
that.
no. I'm just
Let's not
being
try to
honest
pull
with
out
you.
some BS,
Well that's
exceptions
not
to the
my
rule. Let's
definition
not
of
do
a
that.
10. I'm
We all
sorry.
know
That's your
that
definition
those
of a
types of
10.
women who are up there in the beauty scale, they're always sought after, and all the celebrities, all the high value men want
On
them
my good
around
days,
them.
I'm
So
always
let's
sought
not
after
let's
and I
not
don't
do this whole
struggle.
exception to the
One
rule
at a
stuff.
time.
I'm not doing the obsession to the rule. It's just it's very hypocritical for you to sit up there and say, "Oh, well, you have to in order to be a 10, you have to meet these requirements." When ugly women have met
Well,
those
they get
requirements
certain
too.
results. Like if
What do
I'm
you mean certain
if
results?
I'm no 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 if I'm in high school and I'm over here playing for a sports team, I mean, yeah, I could be good, but if I'm not really being sought after by colleges or even the NBA, I must not be that good. you know, if my skill
Yeah.
set or people who will want to work with me, at least the types of people who want to work with me, will determine my, level of, utility to them. So
Well,
if that's not happening, then I guess you're not at that level. At
I
least
Can
think
not yet. Not
you
yet.
we
you
drop?
maybe think that it's a denial stage, but I really feel like it's actually what you think stage. And I'm not in a denial
Nobody
because I don't
cares
believe
what
in
you
what
think.
you I know, but I
Can we
so why
please
are
Nobody
you
drop
keep
the
cares.
link
responding?
for
So why are
Feg
you responding to
and
me then?
Fantasy?
Just be quiet and let me speak
Nobody
then. You
cares.
won't
What
okay,
people
then
care
be
about
quiet
is
Guys,
then.
guys,
results.
guys,
That's what they
Yeah,
guys,
care
guys,
guys,
guys.
about.
Wait,
please,
wait, wait. Calm
please.
down, calm
And I
down.
get
Please
my
calm down.
results,
That's
Anna,
but
enough.
that
Anna,
doesn't make me a
Anna,
That's
10
enough,
though.
Anna. That's enough.
Anna. You said you wouldn't go off. Anna, guys, let's be respectful. Let's get some order, okay? Because everyone is talking over everyone, and no one can understand you when another person's speaking over you.
Thank you.
Is there someone here who needs to? Oh, we have a new person. Oh, thank
Oh,
God.
Hello.
Okay,
Fantasy
someone
Island
else.
girl. Oh shit.
Fantasy Island, please tell us what you think. And everybody else
Here
on the
we
panel,
go.
just give her a moment. Give her a clue, please. Give her a moment to say what she needs to say, and then we can go ahead, Fantasy.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me up. So I think this conversation is very interesting. I know that women have the requirement to be attractive in society a lot more than men do. And unfortunately, if you don't meet the standard, you're going to struggle throughout life. You're not going to get the pretty privilege that other women get. And that's not really something that you can fix. I don't really advocate for trying to fix your face with surgeries or anything, but I have seen celebrities go through that route, and some of them look nice and some of them don't. So that's the choice you have to make yourself. I think at the end of the day, your confidence shouldn't only be based on your looks if you're not attractive. You have to find something else that can boost you up.
I agree.
Exactly. And I want to say something to that
I
one
agree.
guy because I think he misunderstood me. I wasn't trying to argue with him or nothing. All 10s don't have that opportunity. I've seen someone who literally looked like Kim Kardashian, and a lot of people consider Kim Kardashian a 10. I don't think he knows me, but I work as a stripper. I work at different clubs, and I've seen some very beautiful Latinas
That
who are
makes sense.
living in my middle class area who are not famous celebrities. Not everybody can be famous just because you're a
Anna,
10. You know what I
Anna,
mean?
you are completely right, and I agree with you there. I agree with you that there
No,
are
I
so many
wasn't trying
women
to be
that are being.
argumentative.
No, no, no. Give me a second. I agree with you. I want to tell you I agree with you because I want Fantasy to also speak about something else. But I agree with you that a lot of women are being pushed to the forefront that do not deserve that place. But you know what? There's a lot of influence and money, and who you know is the way a lot of people get places. You understand that, Anna? That's the way the business is.
Exactly. But my thing
And
is, he
so
said
that's what you.
he said,
Go ahead.
Amir, can I ask you a question?
Can we get her
Go
out of
There's a
here?
lot of there's a
There you
lot of
go.
10s in society. Like what if we're going off of features, like what people consider a 10. People consider Kim Kardashian a 10. I know so many people who naturally look like Kim Kardashian. I'm pretty sure, Ameera, you have a lot of friends and you know some people who really look like that stereotypical hourglass Latina, Middle Eastern or Kim Kardashian look, and they're not famous. So this guy, I'm just trying to understand what he means when he say all
Well, I don't,
tens will get a certain
Anna.
position.
I don't believe he's saying that all tens will automatically make it into fame and all tens are well known around the world. That's not the case. I think what he was saying is that most tens get a lot more doors open to them. Most tens get a lot more opportunities offered to them
Right.
that they
Okay.
can take advantage of. That's all he was saying, and
Maybe.
it's not a all general rule that, oh, if you're
Okay,
10
okay.
you're gonna
Sorry, I
be in show
misunderstood
business.
him. Because what he said at
Right.
first was he said if you're not a 10, then you don't get these type if you don't meet these standards, then you're not a 10. And it's like some people who
No,
are considered a
It's
10 don't
no, no,
meet
no, no,
those
no.
standards.
that's not what he
It's
was
not
saying. But I want
about.
to get
It's not
Fantasy
about.
Girl. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Why are you
No,
But
it's
yeah,
okay.
saying
Go
it's
ahead.
it's
I'll
that?
let
not.
you guys
I
finish.
just want to clear. Yeah, I'm gonna clear up something. It's not about standards. It's about results. Like we all know, when you go to the club or you go to the bar, there's always a specific type of woman that gets majority of the attention. That's all it is. So you see the distinctions when it comes to certain types of people if they have certain types of genetics or if they have certain types of privileges. They get specific results. So if you're not getting the same or even more or something similar, I guess you're not at that level. It doesn't mean like
Now,
there's some, it just means like the results that you're getting. That's all it is.
now today I don't think I'm a 10, but guess what? I danced at a club where it was a whole lot of other mixed chicks and Latinas, and I'm gonna tell you, dark-skinned woman got the least amount of money and fat chicks got the least amount of money. But I have walked
Uh,
out with $1,200 to $2,000 just like on the
I
average day,
doubt it. I doubt it.
just like the other
Anna,
females.
Anna,
Ain't no
give
way
me a
you got
minute.
two
If
thousand
It
dollars on
only takes like four
radio,
private
no,
Ain't
private
no way.
dances.
It'd
That's
take
some
you a
lap
year to make
dances
So
and
guys,
shit.
so
I
gotta be
do
you
not. I
guys
don't
gotta
want to
one at a
mute you
time.
guys. I don't want to mute you guys. I want you guys to hear me because as the host, I need to keep order in here, okay? So if you hear me speak and you hear me asking for some peace and regulation, please hear me out. I don't want to mute you. I want to get Fantasy in. Fantasy and Juan Solo. How are you? And I know Fantasy, you already said what you said. I'm gonna get Juan Solo to say what he says as well. But Fantasy, I wanted to ask you, what do you have any views on what the panel is speaking about right now about Anna saying that typical African features are not attractive on women, and this is the reason why the attractiveness goes down. Do you have any rebuttal to that, or do you have any rebuttal to what me and Chaotic were speaking about earlier on in the show?
I think she's mistaken because all of the features that you see are typical African features. I think she's just misunderstanding these things. You can go anywhere in Africa and find these features that you see on these other races. So she's missing that point. But
To
that's what I'm
clarify, are you saying that all features, even
Anna,
Amir
Anna,
features, are
Anna,
black features?
Anna, let her finish real quick. Just let her
yes,
I'm
finish real
just
quick.
asking.
No,
yes,
Anna,
I
it's
am.
fine, but just let her finish. She just got here. Let her finish. Go ahead, Fantasy.
Yes, I am saying that. And then also, what was your second part?
No, I was
The second part was about with me and Chaotic. What we were speaking about was the difference between men being unattractive and women being unattractive. You can address that if you want to, but if you want to stay on the topic that we're on, feel free.
I think the difference between men being attractive and women being attractive is men are supposed to be taller. We're expecting them to be taller and broader, like their shoulders wise, and then women are expected to be shorter and smaller, like smaller features. The difference is, so when we have everyone getting taller now, the standards are still the same. So back in the day when people used to jump out of airplanes, they all used to be much shorter. Now, as we've gotten taller, the chutes aren't made for people that are so tall. So they had to make new chutes. So the same
Hmm.
thing, our standards are kind of staying the same where we still expect women to be short and petite when really we're all getting taller from our reproducing with taller men, reproducing with taller men. We all want this taller man, so that's making our kids taller. So I think our standards should probably change for the height, and with all these women being fat, I don't really understand why we're sticking with the women are supposed to be skinny when majority of women in America are fat. So I guess that standard is
My
going to have
woman
to
is
change
skinny.
also.
My woman is
Well,
skinny.
Fantasy, is it wrong to expect that a woman should be healthy, of a healthy weight?
I think
Is it
it's
wrong?
unrealistic in America. They're only getting fatter. They're only adding more
My woman
additives
is
to the
skinny.
food. They're only adding more sweets to the menu. There's the portion sizes are already way too big. We have poor impulse control in the US, so I just don't see Americans getting smaller, to be honest. I only
Can I
see
ask
it getting worse.
Fantasy a question, if you don't mind?
I don't
Fantasy,
think
Go
would you
ahead,
she
like a
Anna.
question from
responds.
Anna?
Was she
I'll
done?
let y'all-
Fantasy, no, let me ask
I
Fantasy.
do want to
Fantasy, would you
speak
like a
on the
question from
topic though
Anna?
too.
Let Anna
Okay,
go with the
I'll bring
question.
you up in a second. Fantasy?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Anna.
Okay, I think you're nice. You know what I mean? I just don't know your mindset. I'm trying to figure you out. Are you one of those people that believe that, hey, black is God, black created everything? So even if a woman who looks fully white looks completely different than you believe that, hey, black woman created those features because every feature originated in Africa, so every feature looked the same to you? Because if so, then I don't think I can really have this conversation with someone with that type of mindset, because it's like it's not going to get anywhere. Because we can all see the
Well, let
difference
her
between.
respond, Anna. Let her respond. You asked her a question. Let her respond, yeah? Fantasy?
You're
Yes, I do
sick.
believe
You're
that
sick.
every feature has come from Africa. And I know that when you have children, even though you have the same parents, they come out with different features. They don't all look exactly the same. My nose doesn't look like my sister's nose, doesn't look like my brother's nose. So, like I was stating, there is a difference in how we all look, like how dark or light our skin is, but all of that has originated from Africa. The first person, the oldest person they found is from Africa. She was a black woman. They have not found anyone older, any any any
Can
other
I
race that
explain
was
that
older than that.
scientifically?
So,
And that's actually pretty disingenuous to like my mom who's Hispanic. You're trying to like wash people's ancestry away. That's really rude because it wouldn't be fair if a
I'm
white
not.
person tried to wash black people's ancestry away. It's just not
They
right.
can't.
But my thing is, the reason why black it's not, yeah, I think you've got that under, just to touch on that part right there, the black bones are the oldest bones that have been discovered. It doesn't mean that
Mhm.
you were the first ones on Earth. It just means that you were the first ones to be discovered at the moment until someone else, bones come up of another race. But let's go there.
Well,
It's
we
Let's
not
are
at
go
the
getting
there.
off
moment.
topic. We are getting off topic, guys, because
Just
right now the topic is about
can I
attractiveness,
just
and I
end
want to get
that?
Definite G. I believe Definite G wanted to add something, right? Wasn't it Definite G or Clue? One of the two.
Definite G. Go ahead.
Uh,
Definite
did
G.
did did Juan want to go before me because he just came?
Well, I wanted to ask you to bring your part first, and I was gonna let Juan
Okay,
have
yeah,
his own moment.
gotcha.
Same.
So when it comes to like attraction, and I'm taking a more like biological perspective. It's like it's for survival. Like it's because like a woman's attraction for a man is survival based. So it's like that's why she wants stronger, bigger, smarter, and stuff like that. And a man that has, the charisma shows a level of intelligence, or a man that knows how to, quote unquote, take over a room. It shows that, he's well put and he can basically keep her alive. But for what's not fully fleshed out is why a man is attracted to a woman. It's procreation based. Meaning like that's the reason why we don't care about your career. We want a woman that looks healthy enough to bear children. So if she's, waist to hip ratio, if she has facial symmetry and stuff like that, that shows that she's carrying good genes, and she has the potential, not a guarantee, the potential to carry a child to term. So that's why, for a man's brain, hindbrain thinking, lizard brain, that's what we're looking for. We're not consciously doing it, but that's why we want a certain woman. We want a woman in a certain way when it comes to body type. So it's like it's that's where like the attraction and like how men can just build themselves up to be have better character and stuff like that and be hardworking and have a lot of stuff, and then a woman could just be pretty. It's because now we're giving each other the signs necessary for us to continue the human species. That's
I
Definite
get
basically
it.
it.
G. May I ask you
Thank
a
you. Definitely.
question, Definite G, about that?
Hmm.
Do
Yeah.
you think that men are in this day and age are sugarcoating it by saying, like, oh, I picked this type of woman because all of these women or majority of these women act like this? Do you think they're just sugarcoating it because they don't want to be honest and say like, no, I picked this woman because looks, she's better looking? Because let's be honest here, when you look at right now, the biggest thing on a platform as far as YouTube is either politics or the manosphere, you know what I mean, or stuff like that, putting men on game. And you hear a lot of these men say attraction matters to these men. You know what I mean? Attraction, especially fresh and fit, attraction is a woman's value. You know what I mean? So when they turn around and say, like, oh, well, Black women are the least desired because of this stereotype, but they're also not implementing those stereotypes to Latinas or white women as far as Karen or being spicy, which means attitude. Do you feel like it's a cover up, for them just not wanting to be honest and say like, hey, I like this because I think it looks better looking? Because if you think about it, remember that viral TikTok of that one man? He's Black and he said Black women are ugly, I don't want to date them. And he was Black, you remember? And he was like, I don't want to date them. He got dang near persecuted, he got canceled. And he was just saying, I like white women, they're more attractive, you know what I mean? And he got he said, I don't want to make excuses, not all Black women are the same, it's impossible. Even you go to Africa, you go to
So what is your question?
Yeah, you have to.
guys,
my
You gotta
question is,
shorten up that question.
are men, I'm just giving an example after I gave a better context so you could better understand me. Are men
Guys, this
making up
is
excuses?
an escaped mental patient right now.
Are men making up
panel.
dude, and then get off the panel then.
I mean, this woman,
So,
I don't
okay,
know how
get off
No,
the
wait,
panel.
Anna, finish your question.
How are
No.
we
Just
dating
let her
this
finish.
crazy
Do you
lunatic?
think that men are making up excuses to not be completely honest? Because they say it's because of the stereotype of why they don't want to date a certain group of people with certain features, but then like they'll go date another race of people and they get divorced from those, and they don't never put that in a category. So I think
Anna,
are they making excuses?
I mean, are we gonna keep letting this woman just go off
Anna,
like this?
no.
Let
I
me.
want
we
She's a
everyone to have their moment.
lunatic.
Yes,
But
we
Anna,
are.
I get it. Clue, give me one clue. Anna, thank you so much. But when you're speaking, you're not addressing any questions. And the thing is, I need to move on to Juan. So we all heard you out. Let me get Juan Solo in. Juan Solo, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing good. Do you have any response to Anna, frankly, or do you have any response to anyone else on the panel?
No, I don't got no response for craziness. I will only talk about what I keep seeing scrolling across the bottom. It say being ugly and confident. Um, my name is My name is Jaun, right? Which
Okay.
with dyslexia is Juan, but some people say John. But it's an acronym for just the ugly nigga. See, my confidence don't got nothing to do with my looks. My confidence has what
Just
I
an
my
ugly
ability.
nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, my,
Okay.
my confidence comes from
Okay.
my ability to handle myself in the public and in private matters.
Okay.
It don't got nothing to do with my looks. If a person finds me attractive, so be it. If not, oh well. Like that ain't gonna stop me from doing me. I
That's
feel
right.
like anybody who tries to uh connect your attractiveness with your ability to feel secure in yourself is disingenuous. For instance, though, the crazy one, you know what? I didn't even call her crazy, bro, because she was on another show earlier, and she was ranting about weird stuff. And
Yeah.
like I said, she already claimed that she's bipolar, so that explained it for me. So I don't even got to keep going with that. But
Exactly. So you shouldn't address me.
yes,
She's
Address
and
my
mentally.
talking points and
I
not my
won't, I
character,
won't, I won't,
or I
I
will go
won't.
after you.
Yo,
I'm
yo,
letting you know
yo,
that.
I addressed your talking points. I just said that she was all over the place. But like I was
Yeah,
saying,
and I think you're an ape.
She's
that's fine. That's fine.
go ahead,
Anna,
get her out of
no.
here.
That's fine.
Anna,
Ameera,
Come
you
on.
go ahead.
said
Mr.
no,
Get
Solo.
her out of
She
here.
Wait, he
she
can
said
talk
she's gonna
about me,
behave
but I can't talk about him. That's
No,
You're
no, I didn't talk
disgusting
about
human
you.
being.
After
You
you
really
said
because
are.
we
you're
don't want to
bipolar
back and
yourself, and I
Let's
said,
be
well,
adults
okay.
here.
So if you don't have nothing nice to say, then just don't speak to me. Then, if
so why
like
are
if
you
you want
talking
to
about
go
this?
there, we
You
can
never
go
had
there.
nothing
But
nice to
Amira
say.
don't want to go
I
there.
don't
So
get
I
that.
would just advise you, if you don't want me saying nothing bad to you, then just
Damn,
be
you can say
respectful
whatever
to
you
me.
want.
It's a
You can say
two-way
whatever you
street.
want
I
to.
Okay,
believe
that's
you.
enough, Anna. That's enough,
You can
Anna.
say whatever
Okay,
you want
you've
to. Just
already
say it while you mute.
no.
Like I was
Wait,
saying,
guys.
You have dark hair. Go bleach your skin.
right, go bleach your skin, but yeah, you don't want to hate yourself, and you said it.
I
Anyway,
hate to
because
say it, Mr. Coleman.
I ain't
Mr.
even
He's
get on
got to
Coleman,
that
go.
phone here.
let's
Let's stay
take
on
let's take a
topic.
few
Let's
people
stay on
down.
topic. Let's
Take
stay on
Anna
topic.
down.
All
Take
right.
Anna down for a minute and take just a few people down because this is not nobody's listening to me. I don't like that. I want us to be respectful to each other. I
Right.
understand we have a back and forth. Anna, you said your point. Leave it there. Juan Solo, you said what you said to her too. Let's just leave it there. We're
Yep.
past that, okay? Juan
Yep.
Solo, was that all you had to say? Because you were talking about your confidence as a man. You understand you're a man. It's different for women. For women, basically our whole value is almost based on the way we look. You as a man, you can easily say, my confidence isn't in my look. I don't care if people don't care. But for us as women, it's different. Do you understand that?
I understand it, but I don't agree with it. I understand what you're saying, and the point that some females do believe that, but as a human being, I don't agree with that because it's not men making women put their value only being on their looks. It's women that does that because it's funny how, and I'm not trying to go off topic, but I've heard things like I've said, "Why is a woman putting on makeup?" And then the woman be like, I'm putting the makeup on for myself." But you're not putting on the makeup for yourself. You're putting on the makeup so you can get attention. Because if that was the case, you would go to sleep in your makeup. You would never take your makeup off.
Mr. Solo.
Yeah.
Why do you call yourself just an ugly nigga?
Oh, because it's the same thing. Like, okay, for instance, when old girl, what's her name? Brittany what's her name? I can't think of it.
Griner?
Oh, right.
Brittany Renner.
No, Renner. She calls herself a hoe. It's just a kind of a way of saying these are things that have been said about you, but they don't bother me to the point where I would ignore them or I would ignore or shy away from it. Like if a person thinks that I'm ugly, that's their decision. But can you argue that?
Identify as just an ugly nigga?
Yep. I identify as just ugly nigga. But if you have a conversation with me, or
that's sad.
Why you think it's sad?
To identify as just an ugly nigga?
Yeah.
That's why would it be? It's sad to me.
Okay, well, you know what? That's cool. It could be sad to you, but that don't have anything to do with if you was to meet me in person, how our conversation would go.
Right.
Are you just an ugly nigga?
Yeah, I'm just another ugly nigga.
Clue, are you trying to be disrespectful when you say that? Because you're offended.
I'm asking about his name, Mr. Radio.
You're being offensive right now. You're being disrespectful.
I'm just asking about his name, Mr.
That's
Radio.
his name. Move on now. What does it matter what his name is?
Just an ugly nigga. He's just
mind your business. Mind your business.
Okay. Yeah.
And the thing about it is, the thing about being offensive, bro, you gotta be you're the one that's offended. And these are words to me. This is the internet. So it is what it is. But when it comes to like being ugly, confident, like I want to get back to what Miss I'm sorry, is it Ameera? When you were speaking, when you were speaking of, as far as attractiveness and how females think about themselves or feel about themselves, I feel like it's too much put into that. That I feel like you put pressure on yourself that does not need to be put on you. If
so you don't believe that men are putting that pressure? I'm sorry, do you don't believe men are putting that pressure on women? You think that women are putting that pressure on women?
I believe women put the pressure on themselves and on fellow women. Because I always tell folks like this, and excuse my language, niggas smash socks. Do you think they really care about your looks?
I'm sorry, what?
Men smash socks as kids, as teenagers coming up when they you know what I'm saying, do their thing when they fap. They use socks. They use lube. They don't care. They don't care about that stuff right there. They don't care about it. Yeah, they when they're fapping,
like wanking, like wanking.
Yes.
Ameera, don't say wanking. Chaotic. Make sure Ameera never says wanking again on this show.
but that's what I'm saying though.
I know, she's British all of a sudden.
If you start looking at it from that point of view, that some of these dudes.
That's the only way I've heard fapping.
Oh yeah. Well, I ain't want I don't know what I can really say, so I don't want to be too vulgar. But the thing is, men be doing this like they don't care about looks like that. This is the thing that people, this misconception. Men like pretty things, but they will smash whatever they can get.
That's a good point.
When you in the club, I'll tell you what. Well, when I was in the club so many years ago, this is how it went down for me. I'm looking around. I'm 37, bro. I got 3 kids. This is the thing. This is the thing, bro. When I was in the club, bro, this is what I'll do. I'll look around, see all the bad little chicks. Damn, she bad over there. She bad over there. Woo. Then I'll go to the ones that weren't dressed like they look, or they weren't looking like they would, and see if I could talk to them. Men are opportunists. We like pretty things, but most of the time we know we're not gonna get those pretty things, so we're gonna go to the next best thing.
Wow. Yeah.
Yikes. More money for me. But anyway, I have a question for Ameera.
Anna.
Well,
I wasn't ready for that, Anna.
If I were,
don't catch me off guard like that.
if I were
No,
to
Anna,
oh
go
yeah,
ahead. No, go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
if
Go
I
ahead. I'm sorry.
uh if I were to, if I understand Anna's question to me, um the sugarcoat. I'm trying to understand what you mean by sugarcoat, but the thing
I
is,
just
like,
feel
it kind
I
of
know
goes
it's all
into
different.
what
Can I restate
Juan
the
like.
question? And I'll be real short and just brutally honest. Typically, when I do say questions, I like to explain the question. But let me just say it brutally. And do you think that men try to they sugarcoat it by making excuses instead of being brutally honest about the why they chose the woman? Like I'm specifically talking about black men when they date outside of their race. Do you think because those are the only men who are
Like I
typically
have.
problematic when they date outside of race. Nobody gives slack to white men or Asian men. My thing is, when black men give out these excuses of why they date outside their race, do you think that they're
I
being
don't have an
brutally
excuse.
honest, or do you think they're making up excuses?
Excuses
Well,
for what? For the looks of
y-
people, or
Yes,
yeah,
because
um,
you say.
nobody's talking. Okay, I guess I'll go more into detail because that's why I always go into detail. Because when I ask my
Well, no, no,
question,
no. Let me. I'm just
No.
gonna. I'm just gonna
No,
answer the
thank you.
question. No, no, no. Let me just answer the question. Okay. When you're talking specifically black men, we've been telling black women the answer for decades. Like, we've been telling you, fix your attitude, fix these certain things, and you will most likely get a lot of
but
us back.
you
But
know
you guys
why?
kept.
You
No,
know
let
why?
me. Let me. Let
You
me. Let me
can't.
finish. Let me finish. Let me answer your question. Let me answer your question. Gotta let me answer your question.
How
You
much to get
asked me.
out of here? How much? How much to get on
Go ahead,
So
out of
Daphne G.
when it
Don't listen
when
to the
it
radio.
look when it comes to sugarcoating, now, yes, Juan is right that us dudes will smash anything, whatever we can get. I mean, that's just our nature is to spread our seed as far as possible. And if we can get a woman that's like a two, but she's ready to go, cool, we'll smash. But it's the preference is usually a woman who has a certain type of look. That's the preference of what all men want. So
Can I
that's
prove you
why they're
wrong?
pushed in. Let me
Can I?
finish. Can I finish, please? I'm almost done. I'm almost done. There's a specific type of look that men, at least the foundation of a look that a man is looking for, it's usually universal through all races. Usually universal.
Go ahead, chaotic.
So when dudes are sugarcoating, quote unquote, it's usually dudes who don't feel that they can get that type of woman. And just like Juan Solo said, they go a step down and they keep going step down, step down, step down.
Oh my
But
well,
goodness.
I'm almost
that
done.
wasn't her
Almost done.
question. I don't think that was her question,
It
definitely.
wasn't,
I
but
think her.
Mm.
Oh, go ahead. Go
can
ahead.
I say something? The reason why I find that argument, oh, well, black women are a certain type of way, which is why the reason why
But
I'm bringing up
Ameera,
specifically black, because it's proven my point that black features are unattractive. And hold on, wait, can I say, wait,
It's not about the
before you interrupt,
features.
before you keep saying that, but here's why I can prove you wrong. Because if you're going off of the stereotypes, oh, well, a lot of black men are leaving black women because of their attitude. Well, let's go off of the stereotypes then. How come majority of white women that I know in America are Karens? They're heavily entitled. How come the stereotypes
what's
are
a
not putting?
Karen?
Okay, now hold on. A Karen is a person when
Anna,
they
were
don't get
you
their
in a
way,
car accident or something?
when they
Oh my.
the reason why I talk so fast is
Was
because
there
people keep
something?
interrupting me. People keep interrupting me, which is why I have to speak super fast because I'm afraid that I won't
You're
get my
on
point across.
Adderall. I don't know if
I'm
are you on
afraid that
Adderall?
I won't be able to
It's
get my point across.
What's a Karen?
See, the whole
A
thing
Karen
about
if
being
is a
you
bipolar. Can I
you
talk
gotta be
about
a
being
can
lot
I
more
ugly?
describe a
concise, Anna,
stereotype?
with
Can
what you're
okay,
talking points of.
Amira,
You gotta be more
please.
I
One
want to
at a
concise.
hear what
can
a
time.
I speak?
Karen
Why
is.
One
is it that
one at a time.
if it is the stereotype,
PT.
which is why I believe that's why
Help.
black men are sugarcoating it, because if it is the stereotypes, then how are they leaving black women to go to Latinas? And Latinas are known to be spicy. That's their stereotype. A spicy Latina is basically a ghetto black woman. A spicy Latina is someone who will curse you out in Spanish. They have a nasty attitude. They have a spicy attitude. They've known to be that way. A Karen is someone who is heavily entitled. When they don't get their way, a white woman typically, when they're heavily entitled, they don't get their way, they act a fool in public, which I've seen plenty of them. They're very entitled. They make false allegations on
Anna,
you. Wait, can I finish? Can I
Anna, you
finish?
know
Can
I
I
rock
finish?
with
Can I
you.
finish? This is why.
You
This is
I
why.
gotta
Let
you
rock
her
gotta
with
land
let
the
her
you.
finish her
plane.
sentence.
Can I
Let me
finish?
Let her
ask
Can
finish
I
you.
her sentence.
finish? Can I
Clue,
finish,
clue,
please?
wait.
This is why I say that that argument is disingenuous. It's not being truthful, because if it is the stereotypes, then how is it that white women are still heavily desired and Latinas are heavily desired when they have stereotypes too? Why is it that the stereotypes are only perpetrated when there's a black woman? Well, the reason is because we all share the same features as black
Do
people.
you want me
And
to
that's
answer
why
the
we're the
question or
least
not?
desired.
I would
Okay,
like
let
to answer
somebody
the
answer.
question too.
Okay, one at a time. Answer. Go.
Anna,
Okay.
you know I rock with you, but what's wrong with Karens?
Okay, Clue. No, just answer the question. Please stop. Please stop asking her what a Karen is. Does anybody want to answer her question?
Yeah,
I'll
I
answer
like.
it.
Let me answer. Let me answer this
Okay,
real quick.
one at a time. Go ahead.
All right, because I think the woman's premise is incorrect in some factuals. It's not considered sugarcoating it unless you take it that way. If a man makes an excuse for his reason for dating outside of his race, as well, these type of women are are easily to be handled. Their attitude is not bad. Then I would say that they're not sugarcoating it. They just don't understand. They don't know how to explain it to them. Instead of just saying, I like the person, like she said, I like the person's features. But let's not act, because all skin color is a hue that everybody has the same type of features, white or black. So it don't matter the hue of the skin. It still goes down to the features.
I'm talking about black, black, dark skin, big giant nose, big giant lips. Why are we acting nappy hair? Why are we acting like black don't have a certain type of feature?
Anna, wait 1 second. Juan Solo wants to answer you. He wants to answer your question as well. Juan
Yeah,
Solo.
I was trying to. Can I please explain? So it don't matter about the big ugly back, because there's a lot of women who like big ugly, big black lips, nappy hair, and it's a lot of dudes that like women with big lips and nappy hair. For you to sit right there and say, well, those features are ugly, means that you got an issue going on with you, and that's all I'm gonna say towards you personally.
It's not an issue.
Now back to the question though. Back to the question though.
He is Chinese.
Back to the question though. It's not disingenuous. That's just their way of trying to deflect from the women that are asking the question. It might be somebody that they consider a friend. It might be, they don't want to go into.
Nah, it's not that. It's about these men.
Anna, let him answer.
I apologize, dude. I apologize.
Okay. Go ahead.
Like I was saying, it might be the way that they trying to answer it to certain audiences. But when it's all said and done, it still come down to what they're attracted to, because all women are difficult. Men are difficult too. Humans are difficult. And it gets lost in conversation when you specifically put it on one gender or one race, that they're difficult. Everybody's difficult. So, but no, to answer your question, no, it's not disingenuous. It's just how that man answered the question. Ain't sugarcoating it. Why would I sugarcoat it if I'm not dealing with you? How is it you complaining that men be talking bad about black women, but then you're turning around and you're talking bad about black men?
Because I can be honest. That's the issue. I feel like honesty is a big issue. And the reason you said that, it's because they're asked. No, it's not that nobody's asking Manosphere and Red Pill these questions. Nobody's asking nobody's asking, I'm gonna leave his name out of it. Nobody's asking these Red Pill or Passport Bros these questions, but yet black women are always in every other title. Oh, black women are the least desired. Black women are this, but if they are, which that is true, black women are the least desired worldwide. But I don't think it's because of the stereotype, because if it is, then that means we're genetically messed up. Because if black women are the same in Africa, black women are the same in Cameroon, all these so-called cultural countries in Africa, if black women are the same every single where, then it's genetic then. I mean, it's in our bloodline, which means we need to breed ourselves out because we're horrible people, basically.
Oh, God.
It's not
No, it's not that.
Let me rebut it. I'm gonna go mute. Let me rebut.
Fantasy. Okay, I hear you, Juan Solo. I hear you. Let me host for a second.
So you guys talking to her is the problem.
Wait 1 second.
This is
Guys,
the problem.
you guys
catering to this craziness.
Radio, shut up.
This is an actual crackhead.
Radio,
You
stop.
guys are talking to an
Radio,
Please be
shut up.
respectful of the host, please. I'm speaking. Let me host. Fantasy. Me and you and Chaotic we'll have a moment after. I want Juan Solo to go, and then I'm closing out because I have to go. But Juan Solo, please say your point. We have like 5 minutes left. Go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah. I just want to say back to the topic of what she was saying. If she's putting that black women are the least desirable, but then yet she's claiming that she's black, that means that herself is least desirable. But she's not speaking like that.
Yes, I am the least desired out of all worldwide. Yes, I'm the least desired. But when I look in the mirror, that don't mean I have to see myself as
Let me
that.
finish. Let me finish. And then another thing about this whole passport, bros, they're going to places that are also black women. They're not going to white islands. They're going to places that have darker hue women there.
Okay, I'm going
So
off
it's
of
not
what
an
I see their
issue. It's
wives.
not an
Their
issue about
wives
the
are
hue. It's the issue about where the women is coming from and their ideology. Their ideology. It's not
well,
about
we
the
live
skin color.
okay, cultural wise, America, we are very spoiled. All women are spoiled, which is why you see the entitlement and the so-called stereotypical Karen white woman. They get their way in society. You see the spicy
Karen.
Latina. Why is it that the stereotype only are put on American black women and not put on the American white woman, the entitledness? Why is it not put on the spicy Latina? Why is it only the stereotype is only the reason is it's because the features we can keep. I'm honest about it. Yes, my features worldwide is the least desired. I'm black, honey. And guess what? My features are the least desired. And that's okay. You know what I mean? But I'm all about honesty, being brutally honest. You guys, I feel like we're not being honest. And that's just it. I'm done, though. I'm done.
Well, Anna, you're asking a group of men, you're asking a panel of men, black men in particular, their views, but when they're giving you their views, you're basically dismissing them
It's
as
not
you're
that.
lying, you're fake.
No, no, no. It's not that I'm dismissing. I have questions. I challenge their views before making a distinguish, whether it's right or wrong. I asked them if it is because of the stereotypes, how come the stereotypes are not put on the other woman? And they did not give me an answer to that because all women have stereotypes. You have Indians, they have their stereotype. White women got their stereotype. The mass majority of them, they get their way in society. They climb up to the top. They're entitled, and entitled and cry. They'll make. I've seen the stereotype of white woman. They'll make false allegations on you if they can't get their way. Why is it that the stereotype is only put? If it is the stereotype of black woman, why is it only enforced in a dating market of black women? Why is the stereotype not put on white women and Latinas? When they act just as worse, they act just as
Well,
loud in
they
public
they
when they
under
don't get their way.
When you
When a
can
white woman
see,
can't speak to a manager, they act. But
they
guess what?
understand
I
they
know
understand
not
Anna.
all of them are the
Anna,
same.
they understand you. They understood the question. You said the question various
So
times
why are
already.
you
They
saying that I'm
understood.
saying that I'm not accepting it when it just doesn't make sense to me? If it is the stereotype, I feel like we're not. If I prove them wrong that it's more than just a stereotype, then obviously they're hiding something. So it leaves me in the open to just assume what it is because they're not being honest. Because if this is
when
the
you
honest
can
reason,
see,
if
when
we're
you
being
can see
honest,
what
hold on.
when you can see what's on World Star across the street, that's a problem. When you
I
can
see a lot of
see
Latinas.
the
I see more
ratchetness on
Latinas.
online and it's so easily accessible across the street, that's a problem.
I see more Latinas acting out in public. I don't know where you located, but here in Chicago, there's more Latinas,
That's
in
all
their
I'm going to say.
dresses and high heels fighting in the street. I see more Latinas doing that, but it's accepted. My thing is, if it's not the features, if it's not the black features, and I'm just wrong, black features are just so attractive. If it is the stereotype, then how come you guys don't have those same standards when you guys go to other race of women? Those stereotypes, for some reason, white women are seen on an individual aspect. Latinas are seen on an individual aspect, but for some reason, all black or majority of black women are this way. So I'm just gonna exclude all of them and go to these women who have just as similar stereotypes, just a
We
different
get you.
word.
We got it, Anna. Thank you
So
so
obviously,
much.
it's the
And guys,
features. It's the
okay,
features, and
that's
that's
your view,
okay.
and
We just need to be
I understand
honest.
it. Anna, we get it. That's your view. We get it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I need to get down everybody. I need to speak to Chaotic, the host, for a second. We need to brief about what just happened. And thank you guys so much for joining us. Okay, I will see you guys
Thank
on
you
the
for
next
having
one.
us.
No, you're not leaving. You don't leave yet. Not you, Fantasy.
Oh,
You
okay.
stay. Okay, it's just me, you, and Chaotic just for a moment because Chaotic, I think Chaotic wanted to ask you a few questions, correct, Chaotic?
No, no, I'm just glad that Fantasy Island Girl came up on the panel. I didn't have any questions after all. I let everybody cook. I just want to give my closing remarks. If you are an ugly dude out there, um, you just can't exist. You're gonna have to learn something. You're gonna have to be funny. You have to be charismatic. Um, you're gonna, if you look like Marmaduke in the face, if you look like Flavor Flav in the face, you gotta learn how to, learn an instrument or two, learn a language. Don't let your mom tell you or lie to you and say that there's no other person like you. You know, you're you're gonna get the chaotic truth from me because I love you, and particularly if you're younger. If you're not 6'3" and look like Bradley Cooper, you just can't exist. You can't be laid up all day with some chick watching Netflix because eventually she's gonna look over at you and say, "This is a ugly mother." He got you. No, you got to be working all day on your craft. Something you got to be working, and those are
Chaotic.
facts. And there is a standard of beauty, and that standard of beauty is this. And I keep on saying it. And I said it earlier. I'm 38. I remember back in the day when models on Vogue, women in TV shows, all had the same look: tall, slender, nice, perky breast, young, symmetrical faces. That comes in every culture.
Mm-hmm.
The white man is the only culture that literally says, "Listen, we're not, well, at least they before they went woke, we're not sugarcoating this. This is what people are attracted to."
Mm-hmm.
Since we've gone woke, you see, I'm watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds, a new Star Trek series. It came out a year ago. Ahura, who was I don't know if you guys know this, the black woman who played Ahura, she died. But the new show has a new actress playing the original character. She looks like me. No, 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 no.
Well, wait,
It's
wait,
not.
wait, wait. So chaotic. Let me ask you because you said the white man put the standard. So do you believe that
No, no.
flat rear
It's not.
ends is the standard?
No, it's not that the white man put the standard. It's that at one point the white man was truthful about beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Men see tall, slender women as beautiful. We've always have seen it that way. How do we know this? I ask people all the time, look at your family photos from back in the day. And I tell this to black people. Isn't it ironic that your aunts, your aunties, your cousins, they were all slender and thin? Black women have never been these morbidly obese Miss Piggies, man. So what has happened is that we've started to degrade. There is a standard of beauty. And the standard of beauty is Heidi Klum. The standard of beauty is Nia Long. The standard of beauty is Naomi Campbell. To me, it's no argument. So I respect everybody's opinions, but there is a standard of beauty for women. If you're a woman and you don't look like those ladies I named, you can't have an attitude. If you look like Roseanne in the face, you can't act with you can't afford to have an attitude. It's not cute. If you look like Esther Roll and you are at the bar with makeup on, a dude doesn't deserve to, you don't deserve to get no free drink. No.
Can I?
That Go
I
ahead.
agree with you, Kat. I want to get a fantasy. See, the reason why I kept you fantasy is because I didn't think that you got a fair chance because of the nature of the panel that we had. Um, we all know the nature of that panel. So I wanted to give you a fair chance to say what you have to say before we close out.
All I want to say is chaotic is being absolutely honest with people. And I know they're not going to listen to you, to be real.
Mm.
These women are still going to get fatter. These men are still going to think that they can get whatever they want with their looks, even when they're not attractive. I think actually the shorter men, they realize that they have to work harder. But the
Mm-hmm.
men that aren't attractive in the face, they still think that they're good because they're tall or they're good because whatever. But if you don't have an attractive face, it's harder for people to look at you and want to mate with you. And that's what you think of when you're choosing a partner. Who do I want to mate with? Who would make pretty babies? If it's not you, you have to be honest with yourself and don't listen to your mom because she's always going to lie.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
we were just talking about, lying to the children about things, you know, and not giving them the truth. But yeah, are we good on this topic, guys? How's the
I
chat?
think
Are
we're
we good
good.
on this
Thank you so
topic?
much.
All
Thank
right. Thank you
you.
guys so much. Thank you so much for being with me tonight, battling out this subject with me. I
Yep.
appreciate you.
Hmm.
I think with that, we'll yield our time for the night. Thank you so much, Chaotic. Is there anything you want to say to close out?
Yes. Once again, guys, if you are short and you look like the Kimbe Matumbe in the face, you
Oh my
can't. You
goodness.
got to walk around and you have to smile, be energetic, be the life of the party. You can't just sit there and try to look cool and just exist. No, you can't do that. If you're 5'4" and you look like LeBron James in the face, no, you got to learn some instruments. You got to learn some trades. Um, and on that note, salute to you, ladies. Positivity is definitely coming your way. To the chat, salute to you. Thank you guys for all the super chats as well.
Thank you guys so much for the super chat. Our last super chat is from Chike Otto. Thank you so much, Chike Otto. He says, Anne is the reason why Passport Bros are winning. She can't be quiet. She talked more than the host, and she kept talking about brutally honest, and that's BS. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate all of you. And I hope you guys have been entertained. I hope that the conversation has been had. And I think with that, we'll yield the night. Good night,
Good
guys.
night. Peace.
All right.